Yo, what's up, everybody? Wes Smith Variety ShYo, episode 74. I got it right. With
74.
Will Lavin.
Lavin, right here.
Currently right there in the empty seat, Will Lavin.
The spirit of Will Lavin.
He had an emergency. And Navjeet Sarna.
Yes.
What's up, brother?
Yes. How you doing, Wes?
Great, man.
Excellent.
Awesome. You got third cam. Looking
Number
sharp on
3.
third cam.
Cam
Yeah,
number 3.
man.
Where's I'm right there. Excellent.
Yeah.
Maybe I should sit this way.
Well,
there we go.
That's why we have the fancy monitor now, so that you
Yeah.
like people can actually see where they might want to
Yeah.
sit. You know, like otherwise,
So I'm not off screen
otherwise
the
you're
whole
like
time.
this.
Yeah.
I've had people that be like this the whole thing, and I'm trying to tell them, and
Yeah.
I've got a little mark on the where the you know, it's like no one looks. It's like okay, but that most of us adults can handle. That's cool. Little quick intro things from me. The usual, not the usual. Let's see. If you were tuned in right away, listening to that track, that was an edit. I usually put the mashups or edits, the Sticky Bumps mashups there in the beginning, and those are always free. If you'd like that one, hit wesmith.com. You can see the post there and how to get that track. That track is Warrior. Is actually maybe a little more interesting story behind that one.
Yeah.
You were listening to because it's a Michael Woods track from like, I don't know, maybe 2015, 16, somewhere in there. Anyway, you know how Beatport does all the like remix competitions?
Right.
So I had entered it in that and it just faded away or something.
Right.
I'm not sure what happened, but nonetheless, I was able to get the really nice, clean stems because the remix contests always have that.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's like a legit remix, but it's not official. So a little different than just bootlegging like some hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing.
Yeah. It's somewhere above a bootleg, but not official release.
It's definitely not for sale.
No.
That's for sure.
No.
But
you're not profiting off of that.
But it's way cleaner.
Yes.
You know, it's way cleaner than, you know, having to like take an MP3 and do things, you know. MP3. Especially, you know. Joe P's not here today, so I don't know if we should talk about the MP3 yet or not, huh?
MP3, I didn't realize how terrible they were. Didn't have an appreciation for how terrible they were until I started my buddy Christian, who helps run Dialogue up in LA.
Yeah.
They throw some parties, and he's a part of my Burning Man camp, Perky Parts.
Perky Parts?
Did
I understand that correctly?
Yes.
Okay.
Perky Parts.
We'll get to that.
So
don't worry, folks. Just please keep your Perky Parts off camera.
So Christian Smith, he makes my level of audiophile shameful.
Like, hey, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
Someone texting you like, hey, we can't hear you. Is Will stuck outside?
I don't know. Maybe that dirty chai did him dirty.
Anyway, carry on. Carry on. Will's back.
So anyways, Christian does a complete life change. It's just like, you know what? I am going to spend my life working on audio. So he buys this massive Ganley sound rig.
Okay.
And Will's heard it before at Utopia, that sound rig that Perky Parts has.
Oh, yeah.
And oh my fucking God, it sounds so good. And if you even try to play an MP3 on there, it clearly lets you hear that, like, oh, you're missing this entire frequency range.
Oh, great.
Just my type of conversation, actually.
And
oh yeah, dude, you're in the bathroom so long. We skipped on to Burning. We covered 5 years of Burning Man. We're on to Perky Parts.
That's great. That's great.
Fantastic.
And then now everything it's actually really fucked my computer up because all I download now is AIFF and lossless files for playing tracks, and I have I had to buy a NAS server. I was actually looking into that.
Let's circle back to that in a few minutes. No, man, it's you guys' show. There's no real format here, but I do want to give you guys the opportunity real quick because I gave my kind of little sponsorship shout out so people can find my stuff. And they hear it, they hear it each episode. But wesmith.com is that, and the song that was on the trailer in. Juice Recordings is my independent label. Variety of bass-ish styles of music. If you're into that kind of stuff, go check it out. Just Google it. Juice Recordings.
Nice.
Wes Smith.
Nice.
Things all over the board, But you guys, coming up, events.
So coming up for
things,
us, together, we've started a new collective called Globos Collective. And Globos is like a a cultural approach to dance music. I feel like it's like a progressive house and techno movement that's starting rather slowly here, but we're actually getting started with our first event January 27th at El Camino. We're bringing Stelios Vasiludis from Greece to play, and the event is called Globos Agora. And Agora is a Greek market. It's like the center of the arts and all goods in ancient Greece.
Okay.
So that's the concept for the party, and it's going to be at El Camino.
Okay. Will the concept, include like encouragement for people to wear something that's Greek-ish, or what?
I want like global, like global wear of sorts.
Cool.
Maybe we should make it a no black party.
No black party.
No black.
You can't really tell me that though.
I don't know, man.
It's hard to tell me that.
Literally all black. I am half black right now.
We're all out.
Yeah.
We're all entirely out.
We're all out.
Literally all of our shirts are black.
Yeah,
right
we're
now.
like, okay.
But yeah, so that's like our first event. We're working on that right now, and the tickets are on sale right now. There's $10 tickets until the 15th, I think, still.
Okay.
And you can find them on Resident Advisor right now.
Okay. For anyone who, my ad on that will be, I assume it's in the courtyard in the back.
Yeah.
Of El Camino.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for anyone that hasn't been to that space, I really love it.
Yeah.
Small,
Yeah, no.
We're gonna
it's
transform
not that
space.
small of a space, but a nice space, a decent sized dance floor. They move all those tables out. You watch some airplanes fly by. It's cool, but it's outdoors ish, right? Courtyard style feel. I love that space.
Yeah, it's really nice.
When the sound's done well,
Yes.
it's like being inside the speaker.
Absolutely.
It's cool.
Right.
Yeah,
And
we're
clear,
gonna
not
do it a
just-
little different than most people do it too. We're gonna put the stage in a different spot, and there's gonna be 3 points of sound instead of just 2.
Sneaky.
Yeah, it is kind of sneaky. It's gonna be nice. There's gonna be vendors.
Somebody could do, some real crazy, like, we had, who was it, John Reynolds, or
Yeah.
no, he was on here, but then we had Austin Speed was in here last episode.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was talking about some 5.1 surround sound setup experiments some
Oh,
people have
yeah.
done with some desert parties.
Oh.
Yeah, it seems like El Camino might be a spot to try
Yeah.
if you wanted to do that.
We're gonna do 3 points this time because we're gonna set up in a different spot. Like, so normally people use the back wall there. We're gonna use the little cubby side as the
Oh, yeah.
stage
Oh, that's cool.
and
That's a good
push it
idea.
out that way so that the dance floor, like the bars at the back of the dance floor, it'll all be like kind of flow better. I think people are gonna enter through the side entrance there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. And it'll be a little bit more like, maybe like kind of like old school DJing where there wasn't like a pulpit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Absolutely, yeah.
The
It's
DJ up
the
there.
DJ isn't the
The
point.
worship-
music
the
is
worship
point,
zone.
You know? Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I'm all down with it, dude. It's fun when you're up in there.
Yeah.
When you're behind the pulpit, it's a lot of fun, dude.
Absolutely, true.
But it does look a little funny when people take pictures and like this one little dude up there and like 10,000 people going like this.
Yeah.
Kind of funny, man.
It's like an altar.
All right, it's Globos.
Globos.
The
event is called Globos Agora.
Agora is that one. Event up yet on Facebook?
Yeah, the event's up on Facebook. You can
Cool.
find it. I've shared it multiple times on my personal Facebook, and then we also have the Globos Collective page.
Yep, saw that.
Globos.collective
Cool.
on Facebook.
I'll link it in here as well in the show notes and stuff later.
Thanks so
When
much.
it goes out next week. Yeah, awesome. Good to.
Yeah, and then coming up this week on Tuesday, my new Techno Tuesdays party is blowing up once again with Mesme from LA playing an all vinyl set
Okay.
on Tuesday at Blonde for our event Nocturne. And so that's going to be a really interesting one. We haven't really had like a vinyl DJ come for that party yet, so it's going to be really sweet. And she
Nice.
actually was just voted one of the like most up and coming techno DJs by DJ Mag
Nice.
just
Oh, wow.
this last week.
Cool.
Excellent.
I was listening to you guys are techno enthusiasts as well?
Yes, I am.
I love it, but I can't say I'm an enthusiast. But it is pretty awesome that there's some great parties going on in San Diego on a regular now, monthly, weekly, whatever. But what I was going to say was I was listening to a podcast episode today. You ever listen to Resident Advisor podcast?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was with I think I may get it wrong. Teeny, is that
Yeah.
Yeah.
Team.
chick DJ?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was awesome, man.
Great hair.
Yeah, yeah. I thought I'd mention it on here because for someone who I have history in all kinds of dance music, and some other stuff, but I thought it was just a pleasant episode. Very very techno-ish person,
Yeah.
but also a lot of experiences and broad spectrum in her music. I hadn't really heard of her before, so
For sure.
go check it out. Resident Advisor, teeny episode, and talks about her label and the gang and all that stuff.
Yeah, Teeny and the gang.
I thought it was a cool intro,
Yeah,
because she's probably somewhere in the middle. Will and I were talking about San Francisco in general, but like, party ranges, age ranges these days can be like from babies with earplugs all the way to like 80 years old, man. So I'm going to call her somewhere in the middle of that, looking at her and listening to her episode. But if anyone doesn't know anything about techno and wants to kind of ease into it, go watch that one.
That's a great way to start. She's
because I hit her SoundCloud. She's got like everything's there. It's not hard to find.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, no, she's I've seen her like twice now, and she's just fantastic. Like one of those DJs that can play any time of day, any spot, right? Because that's really what makes a DJ.
Versatility.
Like, be versatile, be able to create the vibe, the energy, whatever you want to say, for that space and that time. And other DJs, like, well, I only do this thing and this time, and that's
a business.
It is.
Model.
For a long time, I was like the Trevor Hoffman of techno. I was like the closer, and I feel like I'm finally stepping out of that and starting to play other music, and I'm like grateful for it, to be honest. Broaden my horizons a little bit.
Any events for you other than what was mentioned?
No, absolutely.
Before we go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, sure. You just mentioned John. So me and John work together to make the Soulwork events. Yeah. So we've got our monthly tonight at Blonde Bar. It's called Mirage. It's an Egyptian-themed party. We've got Chris Herrera, Ramin, Phonalis, and Kenos playing. So that's at Blonde. It's like $5 to get in. Come down and dance with us.
We love Blonde.
Yeah. Blonde's amazing.
Let's talk about Blonde real quick.
Well, let me
go ahead.
We got nothing but time.
Yeah, we got that. And then next Thursday, I've got a gig at Variety ShYo with Jimbo James and Huxley.
Okay.
So that'll be fun. And then I've got a happy hour thing going on February 1st at Blonde Bar as well for Alkaline, which is the podcast I run.
Nice. Alkaline is the podcast?
Yeah.
How do people find that?
Go to alkalinepodcast.com.
Okay.
It's actually a sister brother podcast of Burner Podcast, which is like the main podcast. Burner Podcast is the talk show. Alkaline Podcast showcases DJs in the Burning Man community.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
So
I'll get that in the notes too.
Yeah, that'd be great, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Every time I do one of these episodes, dude, I have like another 10 hours of listening homework to do.
For sure.
It's awesome though, man. It's like totally well, as you know, like I never totally know what's going to get talked about or done here. So it's like afterward is great because I just inevitably have some new things going on.
The
that
levels
happens in here.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Oh, no, they're good.
They're good?
You talking about mic levels?
Yeah, I'm seeing the bar there. And
just so everybody knows, it sounds like we've got, an audio file or two in here. Yeah, this is...
three.
Or three.
Well, I haven't explained, before. Well, I've explained it on the show several times. But people like on Facebook and the streaming can hear fine. No problem. Because they can just turn up their volume or whatever. So what I do when this is done is I do run the audio only like through a compressor.
Right.
And bring it up to like kind of normalize it.
Okay, good.
What happens is, and since we were talking about this, I'll just go ahead and dive right in. But what happens is the only other real way to like mic all this great is like a little mixing board and like headsets and mics for everyone who's here.
Yeah.
And that just gets a little wild.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I've run into the same problems with Burner Podcasts.
Yeah.
Like we've had to, like it's really like we have a great setup for like when it's interviewing two people.
Right.
We've got the little Tascam DR40, which works amazing.
Yeah.
But then as soon as you go to 3 or 4, and then one person talks really,
yeah,
and then the other person is really, and to do it correctly is like $1,000.
Yeah,
right?
or more.
And then, or more.
And you kind of need somebody to actually monitor it.
Yeah.
Which makes it another,
which means
cost
like,
or favor from someone or whatever.
Totally.
Or seat that there's no space for.
Yep, totally.
They'd be behind the monitor like, everything cool, watching levels the whole time. But this little, no one can see it on the cameras, but we basically got this little Snowball, the Blue Microphone. I love their mics over the years for kind of general podcasting mics and stuff. And this little Snowball, it's got a conference speakerphone mode. So it picks up a little hiss, but it gets everybody at about minus 12 dB or so, up to 6. You can see the meters jumping.
Excellent.
Yeah. But, this isn't a producer podcast, but... we could dive into a little tech topic if people have to.
You never know. If we want no one to listen.
Right. Because
we can geek out about these microphones forever.
Yeah. The way I know, who actually listens in and out of this podcast is because the kind of comments I get about audio fidelity and the Pacific Beach ocean sound in the background, very light, nice but light.
Yeah.
The number of people I get that comment about that, as a percentage of total number that comment on anything is 0.0001. So there's one person that's like, yo, you need to get headsets and a microphone.
I can hear this.
Yeah. Well, as long as you were going to wrap that whole topic up, the other thing I like about the compromise slightly is that there's no mics and headsets in people's faces.
Yeah. You can just see us sitting here.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only other way to do it is to have a little lapel thing and that
wireless gets even crazier. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you brought it up because I don't want listeners to think, whether they live stream or podcast that comes later through Apple, I don't want them to think we don't care.
Yeah.
But we do things on a budget.
Oh,
and we're trying to optimize, for a couple $100 in gear.
Yeah.
And optimize.
No. I mean, you see it on Joe Rogan's podcast, right? He has to tell people how to use hey, you gotta really get
every
there.
time.
And the worst is
and the quality's there.
Oh,
but he also has young Jamie hanging out, monitoring everything.
Jamie's on top.
Big difference.
Jamie's Googling shit before
Joe's
they even talk about it.
I don't get the sense that Joe's up on Wirecast. Getting the description going and shit. But I love the podcast.
Yeah, no. It's funny, using mics. I had before I started DJing, just solo DJ career. I used to do Indian. I was specifically focused on DJing Indian parties.
Okay.
When I was 16 to 25.
Is that like that?
What?
Is that picture? I didn't put it live, but you see that picture?
No. Yeah.
This one.
Oh, that's.
Can I? That was that's my TBT photo.
Yeah, that's me. That's
Can I publish that?
Yeah, sure.
It's okay.
It's me and Subi wearing my Ferry Corson shirt.
I started grabbing the oldest music related photo on people's social media that I can find, and they're usually pretty funny, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, doing weddings and birthdays and stuff, you have to give that awkward moment of the night where people the people that are throwing the party come up and they try to use the mic, and I always would forget to tell them how a mic works because you just kind of assume people know to you hold it out fucking 2 feet away from them. And then they go stand in front of the speaker and I'm like, why does everything sound terrible? I was like, well, you have no idea about physics.
Let's demonstrate, folks.
Yes.
That is not the proper way. That is not the proper way. Those singers have those little screen things for a reason. It's kind of where you kind of get close to the air.
It should be optimally 4 inches away from your mouth.
Yeah.
3 to 4 inches.
I'm with you.
It's caused a lot of heartache because you gotta fucking EQ. You're live EQing them.
Oh, that's great.
I'll be sure and
wedding DJ life.
I'll be sure and send you the because this goes live stream now and then it goes it gets reposted to YouTube. Post but video as well and then just audio only to podcast. So I'll send you the the final on the audio and we'll get some feedback. And maybe,
excellent.
Maybe adjust
it.
Cool,
because I'm the furthest away.
Yeah, but you've got a good deep voice. It registers well on the spectrum.
Yeah. I'm pushing the line up.
We can see, folks. We're going to throw a spectrometer on guests from now on. I'm going to open up Ableton and we're going to spectrometer people. All right, fine, man. Well, I think we got, we've successfully burned 30 minutes of people's good time talking about events. Self-promotion.
Yep. Let's talk about some other stuff.
Cool stuff like that. But, what else, man? Will, drop some knowledge, man.
Huh.
What's something we can He's not prepared.
I could talk more about. I could talk a lot more about DJs playing lossless files in the future.
Hey,
please.
Let's talk about since we nerded out a little bit. Let's
Let's not nerd out more.
We can play off. But we can play off of Joe P's, post about 2 weeks ago or so.
Oh, what did
he was joking about converting his whole DJ music collection to MP3 to save space.
Oh god!
Oh god!
Yeah.
Is this is up for?
Yeah, it's up for grabs, and those 2 cups are good. They're clean. Joe's got a great sense of humor.
Yeah.
And he's had 3 or 4 of those recently. He's been crushing it in terms of people getting engaged. There's nothing like a Joe P post.
Yeah,
absolutely.
To get people who are like, is he serious?
No, he can't.
Is he the guy that DJs everywhere and does dance classique? He doesn't know that MP3 is shit.
So
it's just great, and he'll play along with it. He'll play along with it. The whole comment thread. Just feed the troll.
Wow.
He's the best at feeding the troll.
Oh yeah,
he's good.
It's like I can't tell the difference. I can't hear. It sounds the exact same.
I had a great experience with him this last week at Dance Classique.
Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been throwing the Tuesdays at Blonde, so I found it to be my place to go watch him DJ from the stage. And I go up there, and I really just had no idea how much he's really doing in the booth up there.
Yeah.
I go up there, and nothing's record boxed at all, which was cool with me. I was like, that's interesting. And so he is playing unanalyzed tracks and just beat matching them perfectly and killing it, and it really just like using his effects and really making smooth, clicky transitions like through this crazy set to close the night out. And I never really got to see him do it from like the behind the decks before. And it really opened my eyes to what it means to like DJ that kind of music. I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
Interesting.
He's just dropping.
He's using USB. I assume he's using USB.
Yeah. He's just dropping his files into the drive. That's it.
Well, I'm assuming they're 2000 Nexus up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those things are fast, dude. That
it's
onboard hardware for
he told me it's faster without record box because you don't have to load it. It just clicks right in.
Well, it probably gets the software footprint bullshit. That's all the stuff you don't use.
Exactly.
Because, like, let's face it. Like, I mean, I've prepped a gazillion tracks like all of us with record box, cue points, whatever, and you use like 5% of the features that are there.
Yeah.
For
real.
Like. So all that stuff has got some footprint that's going on that drive that's slowing things down.
Yeah, definitely.
Versus just, since he's all WAV file.
Yeah.
I feel like it really depends on the type of USB drive you have. Like
that too.
I've got this new SanDisk SSD.
Yeah, solid-state drives.
Fucking fire fast.
Yeah.
But talking about record box features,
sure.
Bring out some nerding again. One feature I don't think most DJs know about.
I want to make sure that I'm like in the game as far as quality goes. Samsung's okay.
Well, yeah, it's a 3.0, right? It's different though. He's talking about solid state.
3.1.2.
That's solid state.
No, that's Flash.
There's no
It's Flash.
Well, like that's just like proper.
Yeah.
Anyways, there's this feature where you can.
Just so you know, I've never had a problem.
No, I have those as well.
Yeah,
I have
those too.
I have that one as well.
I got them because they were metal and they wouldn't break them.
Exactly.
And they were 64 gig, which at the time when I got those a couple years back was pretty big.
Oh yeah.
I mean, those have lasted a couple years, huh?
Oh yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
For sure. I corrupt mine every 5 minutes.
I would say, those have lasted.
I didn't eject this correctly.
Yeah, those have lasted like at least 100 gigs, as in events.
Like
right.
Okay.
Shows I played.
Excellent.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
But you're talking about cue points, right? Setting cue points.
Yeah.
There's a feature where you can set a loop inside a record box,
Right.
save the loop as a memory, and then you can have it set to auto trigger.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, me and Chris have been doing that.
Yeah, because it's funny, me and Will were doing this back to back at Utopia, and it was a great set, but it was like one of the. I mean, me and him fucked around like at my house, just playing tracks and whatnot, but never
really had any success.
Previous
to this moment.
Yeah. We were just because it would always be like, we're gonna go out on a Tuesday night. Why don't you come over at 8 and we'll just drink some beers and play some tunes. Anyways, we're out there, and I'm really used to just letting the track run out.
Okay.
And he's not. And he would go into this anxiety mode of like, your track's running out, your track's gonna run out. I'm like, there's a minute and 30 seconds left. I have so many bars to use. And that works for a lot of tracks, but then the more intricate tracks, right, where the end is the artist is like, okay, well, I'm gonna go fucking nuts over here.
I'm gonna do my guitar solo.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my guitar solo
exactly.
where you can't fucking do where you can't do a loop easily because it just sounds like garbage. So there's certain tracks I have where like, okay, this is the 4 bars that I need looped and like I can work out. Yeah. So I auto set that loop to trigger.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that existed.
Yeah.
That's nice to know about, especially when you're prepping a track, and especially the end, and you just whatever. There's only 4 bars of what you'd like to mix out with.
Yeah, and if you miss that, if you're trying to do it live, you miss it. You're like, oh fuck, man, I gotta do a quicker transition than I wanted to. So, record box. I mean, I prefer having my shit analyzed.
Yeah, no, me too.
Versus,
even when I'm just playing on like 2000s, it's cool to have it analyzed. Just kind of know that at least when I hit the Q button, it's going to be on the one somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if I'm not looking at the actual like tight waveform that the Nexuses provide.
Yeah. I think real quick, folks.
Please.
For anybody now or later that listens to this mind-bending conversation about record box. For anyone that doesn't know what record box is, it's like, well, there's software that DJs use to prep, tracks so they can use them, to play off their USB stick or whatever live. It doesn't have to be USB stick, but nonetheless, there's like, with all the modern tech, there's usually some prep that goes into it, unless you're Joe P. and you're just Superman. No, there's usually some prep that goes into it. For a whole number of reasons. We're not going to get into that. But anyway, record box is probably, at least at this point, certainly in the top 2 or 3 in terms of, software products that would get used to do prep. For the actual USB, that's going to get played. Because people that go to shows and don't DJ or produce or have friends that do that, like, there's a lot of like dog talk right here, right? But I think it's still cool, like, it's great. It is interesting to people. Like, what do you do up there?
Yeah, there's this guise of mystery of like what actually happens up there, and I think it's fun to explain that to our Kappa bodies.
So my mom. So on this note, and maybe you guys have a story along these lines. On this note, my mom's visiting for like a month. She usually does like once a year here in San Diego, and she's been a part of my music for most of my life in terms of involved in it. And she'll listen to everything, the newsletters, listen to stuff. And she'll give me feedback. And she was funny this time. She said, I was watching one of these videos and of different people DJing. And she's like, I know how you used to mix back when you had vinyl. She's like, but now I wonder, like, what exactly do you do between tracks? I thought that was the funniest observation. She's like, because she's like, I've watched several DJs now, paid attention, and like watched when there's cameras on the deck. She's like, and I know y'all are all using the USB sticks and stuff now. She's like, it seems like they got, the track it's done. Like, and then they're like, have all this time to walk around, have a drink, throw cake. Like, this is my mom.
Throw cake.
But
it's kind of true. You can much more quickly get your,
versus,
in the mix.
Yeah. I remember when I was doing the wedding DJ stuff. It was all CDs.
Yeah.
And just like, it was very important that the CD went exactly back to where it was. So I'm not trying to flip through a fucking. I had 3 of those massive 204 CD binder things. And flipping through all those things, and like, it was funny because we ended up like doing special, like, we would write like special symbols because it was all burned CDs back then, and we write special symbols on it to be like, okay, this is the one that has this version of that remix that you want on this track, and it was like, okay, that one's behind the cover that's red. You flip it over,
there's 100 discs like that one right there next to the door.
Exactly. Yeah.
West with a date. It's like, there you go, folks. That's what we used to do.
Yeah.
West with a date.
I wasn't alive then, guys, honestly.
I
was merely a thought.
Yeah. Hey, this is 2013.
It's 13. Man. Yeah, this is you still had a burn. You still have a burn.
Yeah. That's a CD burner, folks.
Yeah.
Not a burner. That's in personal designation. Comedy's allowed on here.
Yeah.
You don't say.
Don't hold back. Anytime you feel like you have something funny.
Gosh, what was I? Yeah, I lost.
You were talking wedding DJ and CDs and stuff.
Yeah, just having Record Box and having all these different DJ softwares help you organize your music lets you spend more time figuring out like what you wanna play, because your mom's saying like, what are you doing up there?
Yeah.
Well, like now, instead of like spending a minute trying to find the track I think is gonna work right now,
Yeah.
I can take an extra minute or two choosing between 5 songs and be like, okay,
Sure.
this one, or this one. And then if it's analyzed already, I can see like, okay, where should I drop this in? What bar should it come in?
Exactly. You can see the waveform of the whole track.
Yeah. Which is really convenient. But what's kind of shitty about DJ software, and it's happened over the past decade, I'd say, and I think, Wes, you can speak to this, and that they've created these silos, specifically Serato, Tractor, and Record Box, where none of them talk to each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
It's not in the best interest of the software manufacturers for that to work.
Absolutely.
Sure.
No, I get that.
But so when I get to the buddy's after party, and he's got his Pioneer controller on Serato, and I have my USB from the club that I just played at, and I want to play on his computer, I plug my USB in, and I can't even read my tracks through the contents folder or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
It's interesting, so I have to I always carry around like a USB that's just folders, like on Record Box, so I could always access some kind of music whenever I'm out, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, do you think that, so Will Navjeet, you may have, you've got a little more history, I think, with some vinyl and CD side, but personally to me, real quick on CDs, I thought that was the worst technology segue ever in DJing.
Oh, gosh.
I just felt like having DJ'd vinyl, like, to me, if we had just skipped the CD part and gone to USB from vinyl, sweet, great idea.
Yeah.
The CD in the middle was like, why? I just never because I played Serato. I just sold my SL3s, in fact, but all the way from SL1, SL2, SL3, like I used Serato through the whole CD, paradigm, and then except you can see those when I had to use them because it's all they wouldn't hook up computer or Serato box or whatever. And granted, hooking up all the Serato gear was a pain in the ass, but dude, performance-wise, it was well worth it to me. But now it's pretty much out of date.
Yeah, no, I mean, the first gear that we had was, I'm not going to, there's no reason to mention model numbers, but
400?
No, it was
CDJ 400?
It was actually Denon gear. Because I had to start with CDs.
The 2000S?
No, it was the rack mount.
The tray slide out?
Yeah.
Oh man!
The tray slide out.
No, mine. I think
Can you just picture that for me?
I'll find it while he's talking.
So I had purchased since it was mobile DJing, right? You went with a 19-inch version of everything, like rack mounts. They had a rack mount 4-channel mixer, the Denon S500, and then the Denon S5000 dual CD players. And that was I think it was one of the first versions of Denon gear that played MP3s on a CD. You could read your MP3s on a CD. Yeah. And there was no other way to play that stuff. And it was great, super reliable. Denon stuff. It was weddings every weekend, birthdays, anniversaries, all that stuff.
What was the model number of it again? It looked like this, but this is too new. That's a 4500.
Yeah, I think it was the S5000
let's see.
or the something 5000. But yeah,
which one? This guy?
Yeah, that one right there.
There you go. I mean, that image doesn't quite do it justice because you don't get to see the slots that slide in and out.
But so it's like CD
but
trays,
that's pretty cool, dude.
Oh yeah, and they had the little platter, so you could you
Yeah.
can scratch.
Yeah.
No, don't ever touch.
I think
that
I can.
ladder.
I've got a little browser window here. Let me throw
Yeah.
that on top of this.
Don't ever touch that sled. Don't ever try to scratch with that.
Yeah,
thing.
take a peek at that, folks. That's
Yeah. That was I got that.
That's the jog wheel.
Yeah, I got that in 2000.
How's that work?
For anybody that doesn't know the jog wheel.
Yeah. That was in 2004.
So is that the first jog wheel?
All jog wheels looked like that.
Yeah.
Originally.
Yeah.
The little tiny. I mean, it's pretty small, folks, but just Google like Denon CD rack mount, and you'll find a bunch of them.
Yeah.
And you'll see all those little
How big is
jog
that?
wheels.
Like, is it like 3-4
Dude,
inches?
it's
Probably
the size of this coffee
Coffee
Oh my
cup.
God.
Coffee
Yeah.
cup, dude.
It's like those
So you
little
basically
barely get 2 fingers.
It's
on
smaller
it.
than those little baby X DJs. They
Well,
just
it actually has. Wait, it actually has a little dimple in it for a finger, like a finger.
Yeah.
It's so that you can do this.
Yeah.
So everybody would it was like the middle finger thing.
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah,
everybody
yeah,
would
yeah.
do that
You were like fingering
in the center. I'm not kidding you, man.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it was.
So yeah, that's the gear we had, and it was a blessing when fucking because the first version of Serato was called Final Scratch.
I think so.
believe, right? It was
Yeah.
Final Scratch. It was a Linux-based program. You had to like reformat your fucking computer. Had to have like a dual boot on your laptop to get the thing to work. And like fucking Linux was way harder.
That's why when you asked me about the freeware version of Wirecast, I was like, dude, my time's worth more than that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I remember I was at CSL. I don't know. Did you grow up down here?
No, I grew up on the East Coast.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. So there was this record shop down here called CSL, run by my good buddy Sean Green.
Okay.
And you go in there and like they always had the latest tech demoing. And this is like still when you like would go to record shops. And he shows me all this thing and he's trying to like demo it. And of course it crashes as he's trying to demo it. And I'm like, well, we're not buying this, but I'll get the CD players. But like a year or two after that, Serato finally came out, and like my fucking ability to DJ just expanded so much. I had like literally every single Bollywood movie that would come out. Like, I had to download the soundtrack for it because uncles and aunties would come up and be like, "This song just came out 2 days ago. We need to hear it at my party." They had to be fucking on top of it. And then having fucking a vinyl platter to control gave you so much more precision over.
Yeah.
Over
Dude, I
those
was
single
about.
fingers.
I was literally about to stop DJing because of CD performance issues, specifically the discs.
It was terrible.
And I shared that story with you. I was not on the Final Scratch train. I'd heard of it, but I never used it. And when Serato, that SL1 came out, I was like, if this works.
Yeah.
I was like, if this works.
That's the dream.
Like,
yeah. And
I got it, and I was like able to play on one deck, which was sweet.
Oh, yeah.
You had that was probably one of the first
great.
things they did that was just mind blower. Which what did they call it? Not hot swap, but mirroring or
yeah. You could
doubles, something like that.
Instant
basically.
doubles.
Instant
Right?
doubles. Yeah, and like a lot of people didn't know about it, Will. So like they'd be like, "Dude, what are you doing?" You know, you'd be up in there because the song you just mixed in, you could let it play and then do an instant double and use the one turntable to do your work. And people would be like, "Bro, what are you doing?" What? You know?
Yeah.
And you're like, instant doubles. They're like, Serato? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you show them the preference, and they're like,
yeah.
shh, and they just leave the club and run home.
Yeah. and it was nice. As soon as you would do it, you'd get a nice little flanger going over because it was
totally great.
playing around on top of each other. Yeah, no, I remember that came in so handy when like me and my partner Sylvia, like one of us fucked up or something, and like the needle broke or like the needle got damaged mid set. Yeah. I'm like, okay, fuck, what do we do? Oh.
Or you need a place to set your drink.
What? Yeah. I'm just gonna turn this turntable off. No, that was super handy. And then that was backup 1, and then backup 2, because fucking Windows is guaranteed to crash at some point.
What did you say? Windows?
Right.
Sorry, folks. We may need an intermission. We're gonna kick Navjeet out of here.
PC man.
It was the Denon was the backup to the backup, and we always had a CD in there ready to go.
Oh
in
man!
case something went down, you had to fucking like.
You mean
get
this
people
stuff
going.
used to cost money?
Yeah, man. Like you had to, and especially when you're doing a wedding or doing like any of these type of events, it's very important to these people. I mean, they've hired you for like this is a big deal for them. Like I'm throwing this party, you're responsible for entertaining them for the whole night, and you have to have multiple backups for them when shit goes south. Versus like doing what we fucking do, like. Sorry guys, power went out, or like something happened.
Yeah.
Like give us 5 minutes. People are like, all right, cool, man. Like no worries. We're just gonna go have drinks.
Just like,
Speaking of the, you mentioned Will. I just heard you say about the, whatever the copyright, that kind of jazz, whatever with music.
Yeah.
I think I heard you say something while he was talking. But I was watching this American Meme documentary on Netflix. And one of the people in there makes comment about just generations and how like your generation, I guess, would doesn't have any. It's not like it's not like they're breaking copyright law.
Yeah,
they just don't even recognize
it. No, for sure.
And specifically intellectual property in general. Like is that you know what I'm saying? Right?
I feel like for a long time as a DJ, I've just like playing other people's tracks, and I'm finally starting to produce my own music now.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a big part of like just like the concept of it. It's obviously it's totally chill to play other people's music.
Yeah.
It's totally within reason if you buy it. You know.
Yeah.
But like I feel like it's really important to kind of like play my own stuff. I'm starting to. I got a couple tracks I've done. I did one with Memo Rex. I think we played it last time I was on here.
Dude, I gotta get Memorex in here. Man.
Yeah,
I think he's done a track with everyone that's visited here.
Yeah,
from San Diego, dude. His name always pops up. Like, oh yeah, I did a track with Memorex.
Gets around, but yeah, I feel like
It's around.
I feel like a lot of people of our generation really don't have any grasp of intellectual property whatsoever. It's kind of funny.
Yeah,
you know who doesn't have grasp? China doesn't have grasp of intellectual property.
Well, that's that. Yeah, as a nation, that's generally true.
Also India.
You know, that's the second. You're gonna love this. So for my like actual website, not all the social media tentacles, but the actual website, I get it's like my number one country is America, Canada, or United States and Canada, and then after that it goes China, and then India, which is pretty funny. The India part I can understand because I toured there before. And so I definitely have, Red Bull. I did a tour with Red Bull there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like back in 2015.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Which cities did you get to go to?
What's that?
Do you remember which cities?
Yeah, I did Chennai, Madras.
Yeah,
I did Bangalore.
Yeah. Tech center of...
Hyderabad. New
Delhi,
Pune.
Okay.
One other.
Pune, just north of Goa, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and just south of Mumbai.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
How did you like Mumbai?
It's crazy, dude.
Dude.
And totally different than the rest of the country from my limited.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been there other times to play in India. I have some friends. Shout out to Blank. This is like that's their actual name. Pretty big, like a trio, 2 DJs and a girl that plays a flute live.
Wow.
So one's a turntablist. My friend Manny, my closer friend Manny, is a DJ. Skip, ironically, is the turntablist. And then she plays the flute, and it's an interesting combo.
Yeah.
Deep house, tech house-ish. They really play some big stuff because they're in like the MTV India circuit.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That's no joke.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Back to that. Yeah, been over there a few times.
Mumbai though, so you're right. Like you land in Delhi, you're like, okay, it's dirty. There's object poverty.
Hot.
Yes.
Don't forget hot.
Very hot, dusty. But there's space. Right? Like I felt Delhi was more open. Yeah, Delhi.
Yeah, very farmland feeling.
Yeah.
Ranch farmland feeling. Big time.
You get to Mumbai. It is like, I remember this one point because I flew from Delhi into Bombay with my with my mom's brother, and we had to go like run an errand basically for like one day out there, and we get there, and it's muggy. Oh no, fuck that! No, we took a train. We took a train from the Taj Mahal. Took a 14-hour train ride overnight. Got into Mumbai, landed, Landed actually at the train station that got bombed a couple years ago.
Oh man,
Victoria train station.
Yeah, that's bad news.
Luckily I missed that. Sorry, it was a bad joke. Wow.
Weird flex, but
Wow.
okay.
Weird flex.
This is the part where we get sideways, folks.
And we like go have a meal. We come out and it was like everyone was getting off of work. And I kid you not, like imagine just a normal like PB street. There must have been 2,000 fucking people just walking through and no fucking space at all. Felt so claustrophobic. The air was so bad, like I couldn't breathe at all. And this is back in 2005 when I went.
Okay.
I can only imagine how bad the air was 3 years ago.
Yeah, so when I came back from there, I was there a few days, did some other touristy stuff. It was cool. Went to Taj Mahal when I was in New Delhi.
Was it
took
open?
that drive. Yeah. And interesting place. And, beautiful. But when I went back to New York, because I happened to go back to New York City, and I had lived there for a while in New York City, downtown. So I'm used to New York people, traffic, density. Dude, I went back to New York. Girlfriend of mine picked me up, and I was like, it's so quiet here. Like I literally like a week to 2 weeks of being in India was like, yeah. When I got back, I was just like, wow, this is strange, man. That place was busy. Like New York felt weird to me. Like I felt like I was in the countryside.
Yeah,
in downtown Manhattan.
Yeah,
it was like, oh, all right.
Yeah, like I did not. I mean, I loved Manhattan when I went, but it was just like, there's way too much shit going on here.
Yeah.
Like,
I lived there and I loved it, but I just couldn't believe how India, major cities made me like, wow.
Just enough. There's just enough going on in New York. You know what I mean? It's not,
I
it's
don't know,
not too much for me personally.
Just enough.
Yeah,
for
just
me,
enough.
For me, like, because I lived in London for a year, and like that amount of busyness was like enough.
That's pretty dense, right? I've been a couple times.
Yeah, it's dense, but it's not like Manhattan dense, where it's just like fucking skyscraper.
Yeah.
You know, like
sure.
That's what I didn't like about Manhattan so much. It's just like you're just a tiny little person.
Definitely feel really small.
Yeah.
I don't miss the tall buildings at all.
Yeah.
Nah. It's cool. I like being out here.
No, for sure, it's nice here.
The only nice part is like there's I think it was like fifth or fourth, like when the sun's setting, you can just look all the way fucking down.
Well, there's some views you can't get anywhere else in the world. That's for sure.
That was
some pretty neat
cool.
stuff.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's for sure. But I lived there for 6-7 years downtown, Lower East Side.
Oh, nice.
And East Village for a little bit.
Yeah.
Then Lower East Side. And I got a friend that's getting married in May. I'm gonna go back. Haven't been back in like a year or so, but
yeah, I'm going back in March. The beginning of March, my friend's getting married.
I DJ'd there a bunch for when I lived there. I DJ'd a bunch, and then I DJ'd there a fair amount after I had moved away, but not so much now.
Yeah,
I'm really focused on the West Coast. I like being out here, man.
I really like playing in Brooklyn recently. I want to do it again soon.
Did you go?
Yeah, I played twice there this past year. Once in November, and then again in when did I just go? I think it was like early.
A couple weeks ago, right?
You down with the? Do you know the OKNF guys, Clem Lee and?
No, I was booked through Rendezvous NYC, which is like a new group.
Okay.
They opened a club called 101 Brooklyn.
I mean, OKNF's like a year.
Oh yeah.
In terms of a brand, you know.
Oh no, not
brand.
sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was out there playing, and it was a great time. Honestly, Brooklyn was a great scene. I went into Manhattan a couple times. I went to a Resolute party at a club in Manhattan, and that was a little bit much for me.
All right.
But yeah.
In what way?
It was just super packed and busy. It just kind of everything's.
What kind of club was it?
It was like a nice club.
But was there a music style or?
Yeah, it was like house. Resolute is like they do like minimal house. You know,
okay.
Lauren Ritter, she played here recently.
Okay.
At Spin. It's like a minimal house, like deep tech house, kind of like Romanian vibe.
All right.
That was interesting, but their warehouse party the next night in Brooklyn was way better than their club party. I was there until like 11 a.m. It was amazing.
When I lived there was this place where you said the Romanian vibe. When I lived there in the Lower East Side, there was this place somewhere below Houston, a couple blocks, really like central Lower East Side. And I don't remember the name of the place, but whenever we were done with everything else, like you could rendezvous and go down into this basement of this place, and it was like the first place I'd ever seen one of those ice bars where you go walk into the ice block and like do a shot off a block of ice and things like that.
Oh, okay. Is there a place where they give you like a mink?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, optional.
Yeah.
At 3:30 in the morning, optional. But they had 2 rooms, and when you walked in, it was just super chill. But you go down to the basement, and that's where the chaos was. And there's a DJ up on maybe a 3-4 foot platform, and just kind of overlooking everything. I don't know, maybe 100, 150 people in there, and it was just like going off to like 135 to 140 BPM, like Euro techno, Romanian, all the chanting and shit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, like the heavy choral stuff.
Yeah,
But it was so fun, dude.
Sounds like a blast.
Yeah,
sounds like my
it was kind of like going to like EDM versus like the Polish food festival.
Okay.
Like, with the live band.
Yeah.
You know, and it was fun. Yeah, that's the best way I know to describe it.
Sounds great.
Yeah, I would like to hear that actually.
It was cool.
Yeah, I've got this one track that is super fast techno. Well, it's not sure. It's slow for the old days. It's
like
fast for now.
132?
No, it's actually like 129, but it's got this Bulgarian folk song in the background. You've heard me play it before. Yeah, I've heard you play it. Yeah, and I wish I had more stuff like that, but I don't. It's like that you reminded me of that track just now. So.
Man, I'm really thankful for that. That I reminded you of that.
That you reminded me of something.
Talking about that stuff.
Yeah, that's
wow, man.
Brooklyn, New York. Yeah, I wanna do some more partying out there. I went out there and I got to go to Flash Factory once. The last time I went out there, I used to live in New York. That's where I lived when I first
What area were you in?
I was in Long Island City.
Yeah.
That's where we first moved when I moved from India.
I had friends out there.
My sister lives in Long Island City right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think the 6 train that goes out there.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And I hadn't gone back until like I left in like 1992 and went back in 2016. The big gap, and went back, did a little bit of clubbing up in New York, and it was funny enough, we were talking about it last night. I was at dinner with my sister and my girl, and it was me and one of my best friends, Drew. We went out there, we did a day of like sightseeing, went to the museums and all that, and we split ways from my sister. She's like, okay, it's midnight, I'm going to go home. I'm like, all right, the night is just starting.
Family phase 1 over.
Yeah. And we start getting some drinks in, and like finally I'm like, all right, cool. Soul Clap is playing. So I went out to Flash Factory, which I think had just opened up a few months prior. So they were still like tuning the sound system and all that shit. Get in there, and I'm on a good one, having a great time. Just like, fuck yeah, we're in New York, having a good time. I get to the door, and like hadn't bought pre-tickets. They're like $45 to get in, and I'm like, God damn it, it's fucking 3:30 in the morning.
Yep. Speaking of good times, I got join Will.
Yeah. Do you have a charger for this by any chance? Some micro USB.
What do you need there? Micro? I have space if you need to plug in something USB.
You got to bring
or power, but I don't have a.
Excellent. You don't have Android.
You can use the Juul the old-fashioned way.
There's nothing Android in the.
I have a charger for that.
There's nothing Android in the crib.
Yeah, no, I see that. So, anyways, we were talking about this club night where we get there. I'm having a good time. I order 2 whiskey sours, and the first one.
Cheers, Will.
Cheers. I have to try.
We're listening.
You got 2. I ordered 2 whiskey sours. It's like $34. I'm like, all right, cool. It's not beyond what I was expecting. Go back like 20 minutes later, get another round. Now it's $44.
Yep.
And I don't know if the drink prices go up over time, or is it just like I didn't specify that I didn't want well this time?
Right.
Or like the bartender's just like, well, obviously you want the best whiskey we have. So I'm like, all right, whatever. And I go back to my buddy Drew, who isn't really a, I mean, he likes going out and having a good time, but like he's not like us in the music scene and whatnot. He's like, hey man, you having a good time? I'm like,
you mean he doesn't go in and wonder if the DJ's using record box?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not like, oh, I'm pretty sure this guy's using 128 MP3s.
Yeah. Again.
Oh, now let's get a drink.
Guys. Real.
So Drew is he's kind of being a bit sheepish. He's like, you having a good time? I'm like, yeah, man, having a good time. He's like, okay. Cool. He's like, you feel the energy change in here over the last like 20 minutes? And I'm like, no, man, we're having a great time. Like there's a bunch of gay guys here. We're having a gay old time. It's fucking, it's good.
It's a good thing.
Yeah,
it's a good party.
It's great. Get another round, come back. He's like, hey, we should go. And I'm like, fuck, man, we literally just paid $45 to get in here.
You're like $90 in now.
Yeah.
Drinks and
yeah. No, like I've spent $150 in this place in a matter of like an hour or 90 minutes, and I'm like, Jesus, you really want to go? I'm like, fuck, the night is literally just getting going. The sun's not even up yet.
Yeah.
Like, why are we gonna go home?
That's how it is out there too. It's the party goes till noon.
Party.
It's
Keep
great.
partying.
It's something that really gives a lot of space to music. You know what I mean? Like you can really go way further when you can go past 4 a.m., past 6 a.m., past 8 a.m.
But on the ticket price thing, like really, like these festivals people go to are, $400.
I feel like they're worth it though. Like
what? So why?
Why
is a $75 ticket to basically hear one or two, of the peak hour people that you really want to go hear? Why is that so much different than the $400 or $500 for 3 days?
Yeah, for me, I feel like that's worth. I feel like that's
thing.
worth it too. I feel like they're both worth it. I feel like those artists are worth the money.
I get value.
Will Lavin, he's all positive.
I get value out of spending more money to see one artist.
Yeah.
Than I do having to spend $400 to catch 45 minutes to an hour and 15.
Yeah, I know I'm going to get a
artist.
Properly curated set from like a professional DJ that's really there to do it. You know what I mean? Like it's not like Friday nights at Bang Bang or whatever.
I mean, I go for different
an hour and a
reasons.
half of your guy playing for $25 or something.
Yeah, I go for different reasons. That's why, I wish if when I paid like $75 or whatever to go here, ironically with Brian Despot and I, we had talked about Tiesto forever, and neither of us had ever seen him, so we shelled it out to go to Omni a couple years back. And I just really wish that they had let him play for 2 hours at least.
He didn't play 2 hours?
No.
Goodness.
I would have been cool with 3.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that much of the crowd would have noticed the difference. I don't think they'd have been upset.
Right.
But I don't know. But I would love to go hear people for longer sets.
Yeah.
When I do a single club night, $50-$60, that kind of thing. I don't do that often, but
sure.
Yeah.
It would definitely be nice to hear them. Hey, promoters, it would be nice to hear them for longer than 45 minutes.
For sure. Yeah. No. So what I'm doing with my events is I'm trying to push longer set times. Like with Nocturne, the headliner will always get 2 hours at minimum. You know what I mean? Like on Tuesday we have Mesme. She's gonna play from 11 to 1, quote. But if she's killing it at 1 o'clock, I'm not even gonna play. I was supposed to close. I won't even play. I'll just be just keep going, girl. Just get it. You know what I mean? I would love to see her play for 3 hours. That'd be great. I don't need the spotlight at all for the end of the night. I'd rather just let her do it.
Yeah.
And that's my perspective on it, especially when we have less hours in clubs here in San Diego because we only go 9 to 2.
When I play for an hour, and it hasn't been too many times I've been pushed to do 45 minutes. It usually happens if there's some kind of mix-up, not planned that way.
Yeah.
But, if it's an hour, even an hour, man, I feel as a DJ, I just feel kind of like I just showed up and played picked some shit on an iPod or whatever, and then I don't usually feel like I really got into it.
I don't get in my groove until at least 50 minutes probably is the least amount of time it takes me to really start building something crazy going on. You know what I mean?
He's waiting on his tracks to analyze.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta
That's what you get for using Windows and Record Box.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I completely agree. The first hour, you literally just get my beak wet. And then that next hour is really where, all right, I'm comfortable, I'm in the groove, I'm having a good time. Start stretching your legs out. That's why I love fucking DJing at Burning Man and Utopia.
You just play forever. Yeah, we just play forever.
Did you go?
Not Burning Man. No.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about Utopia.
Oh
Where we played that morning set together. It was 3 hours or something.
Burning Man Light.
Yeah, Burning Man Light. Burning Man Light, for the PB. Yeah.
BurningManLightSD.com.
Yeah, exactly. It was all right.
Yeah. Pounding Coors Lights.
Yeah.
Tecate Lights.
Yeah. sleeping in a van without like anything. I didn't even have a blanket. I was just sleeping on like plywood on a van, and it was like easy. You know, it wasn't a problem.
Tecate, is that not? That's got to be the official desert beer of San Diego, right?
I think so. Yeah,
100%.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Complete left turn. Speaking of Tecate, for a long time they sponsored the Baja 1000 races and a number of other Baja 500 or I think whatever those races, 4 or 5 of them during the year. Anyway, I'm gonna do the. There's several different race, what do you call them? Promotions, like promoters. Are you into that stuff at all?
Yeah, one of my buddies tried to convince me to do. There's a race in Europe where you get the shittiest hatchback, the shittiest hatchback you can get, and you have to drive through every country in Europe, and then you end up in Kazakhstan, I think, in Mongolia is where it ends.
All right.
And whoever can do it the fastest, the least number of hours, wins. And you can't spend more than like €1,000 or something on the car.
Price limits.
Yeah. I forget what the name of it is, but I'm definitely into doing something like that, or the Dakar.
I've heard about that.
I think that's in the Sahara.
And I've seen a number of people that are into the Baja races and northern and Vegas, kind of desert races talk about that. But I'm not that into it other than a fan. But I'm going to get into it now. I got this coffee cup actually. Make sure what's in it. But this H121. If you hit their website, you can kind of check that stuff out if you're interested at all. H121. Google it. H121. You can Google it, Baja Racing, something like that. But anyway, this guy, Dennis Hollenbeck, he's real cool. I met him. A few other people have met him, but he's he's won the Baja 1000 in a Volkswagen Beetle, in that class. Like in 2017 he won it. He placed in a couple of the other distances. But anyway, his team's going to do the Mexican 1000 in April. So I'm going to go do that with them. If I'm lucky, maybe I could do a little co-driving. Ooh. No, I can't drive yet because I don't know. I want to. I just don't know. Yeah, I don't have experience at it. So,
I can't do it either.
Kind of most of the teams, unless you own your own car and just do it, most of the teams that I've met anyway, very nice people and open, but it's kind of like Burning Man a little bit in the sense that they want you to volunteer a little bit first, or just learn some shit.
Right.
Because there's a lot of stuff that goes on from navigation and chase cars and trailering and spare parts and just dealing with all that. So anyway, April I'm gonna do that.
Have you ever seen like a live, not a live feed, but just the
car cam, for the rally
car
races?
Cam for the rally races?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I went to the Baja 1000 this year.
Yeah, it is you need a co-driver. You can't drive that yourself because they're going they're going 80 miles per hour in the roughest terrain possible.
Well, the trophy trucks top out, I think, at 200. But the Beetle class, the Volkswagen, the Class 11, that these guys do is those cars. I mean, I asked them, they can't. It's a 1600cc engine. They can't mod them significantly. Mm-hmm. So I think they could do a little piston stuff or something, but nothing crazy. And they can't change the size of it. So they told me that those things can get up to 70 something on pavement, but average speed is 20 miles an hour for the whole course. Okay. So it's a lot of skill driving.
Yeah.
Because you're still going through the same stuff that all the big cars just went through.
Right.
And tore up the track for you.
Yeah.
And but that race in April is going to be from Ensenada to La Paz, which is about 1,100 miles.
Ooh.
Oh wow,
man!
What's equivalent to California?
Over 6 days. Yeah, they do this one over 6 days, 5 days, 6 days.
That's some serious.
Yeah, dude.
That's gonna be fun, man.
It's kind of like 30, man.
You guys have to come back in here after that one's over.
Yeah.
So you can bet I'll talk about that the rest of the year.
You'll just ride along with them in the support.
I'm gonna help out with the chase car, and then if there's I'm backup for co-driver. So someone gets sick, whatever.
Hard left, right.
Hard left. GPS, dude. GPS. Fat fingers. I meant right.
Just look at the GPS, man. It's right here.
There's that famous rally video where the guy's driving. I think he's driving a Subaru or something. He's like, "You're breaking the car, please stop, please."
Yeah.
Talk about rallies. Fucking. Have you ever seen the Hooligan series?
By
DC?
No.
By Ken Block.
Oh, the Ken Block, yeah, where he's
Ken
doing
Block,
like
the hooligans
with like the those like a wrecking ball, like spiky wrecking ball. He's like doing donuts around
he's
it.
doing donuts around it.
They're called Gymkhana, I think. Ken Block Gymkhana.
Do a search for Ken Block hooligan.
That's
What
pretty
is it?
wild.
Ken Block
Yeah.
Hooligan.
Hoonigan.
Yeah.
Hoonigan. There you go.
What does he do? Oh,
Crazy, ridiculous drifting. And
Tap in San Francisco. The San Francisco one.
it's pretty
sorry,
wild.
sorry, folks that listen later, but you got to go Google Ken Block Hoonigan, San Francisco.
Sometimes you do.
Sometimes you got to do that.
All right.
Is this it?
Yeah, that's the one.
The DC shoes thing.
Yeah.
Let me. I'll hit play, but
you get in trouble for shooting us?
of course.
Yeah, Facebook Live is getting super serious.
Of course you do. Oh, that was it.
Straight silence.
Fucking sideways.
I mean, I'd try it for sure.
Yeah. Watch that when you get a moment. It is.
I'm gonna do it.
Something crazy.
Yeah, there's some crazy rally driving for you.
Sorry, folks, but that was. I'm not sorry. That was well worth it.
Yeah. Wait till.
What do you call that kind of slide? Just a slide?
Drift. Yeah.
Drifting.
Yeah. He's drifting.
Yeah.
He literally drifts through all of San Francisco.
Yeah.
And there's a video like in the making of this, like when how they actually made it. And can you imagine the logistics of getting San Francisco to shut streets down?
For sure.
And how much fucking money they had to pay them. But that's why you get DC Shoes.
Yeah. That coordinates all that.
Yeah, coordinates it for
Come on,
you.
Red Bull or
look at all
Google,
the
step it up,
sponsors
dude.
He's got
90, he's close to 1 billion views.
Jesus.
100 million views.
100 million.
Sorry, 100 million.
Still.
Yeah,
Whatever, dude. Times
He's
1,000.
no side. He's no.
That's probably
what was
worth
that
it.
Video?
That's probably worth it for DC Shoes, huh?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
100 million views.
Yeah.
What do you think? Speaking of, we're all DJs and promoters and producers and whatever.
Yeah.
What do you think is like a number of views on something or listens before you really make a mark?
Oh jeez.
Like where people are like, oh yeah, I've seen that guy, or yeah, I know that guy.
I'd say like 10,000, like SoundCloud listens.
You think?
I mean, depends like what kind of audience are you looking for?
Well,
right?
just
that would
for
be-
a general dance music audience. If we're talking dance music, what do you think is a quantity of plays, or before
I can
someone really
when I'm listening to a set or something and I see on SoundCloud that they've had 1,000 listens.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh wow, like this, like people want to listen to this.
Sure,
1,000 people want to listen to
Yeah.
it. Which like I just released a set a couple of days ago actually.
Yeah.
For the podcast I've had for the Alkaline podcast, I've really wanted to do like themes, to give a DJ a theme and have them soundtrack that theme. Kind of like in English class you'd get like an essay prompt,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I wanted to give them a
There's an
prompt,
idea.
a prompt for their DJ set, right? And this is all like Burning Man related, right? So like one of the prompts me and Rosh had come up with was a deep playa drag race,
Okay.
right? Like soundtrack a drag race
Okay.
in fucking deep playa.
That sounds great.
What would that fucking sound like?
Techno.
So yeah,
Well, I mean,
Boomers.
pounding fucking techno.
I'm sure there's a sample pack for that.
yeah. But that never took off because it's pulling teeth to get DJs to even like do a thing on.
Were you
time.
talking about cars or people in drag? The soundtrack.
That is open to interpretation.
Yeah, it's open to interpretation for sure. It's Burning Man.
Well, in the context of Burning Man, it could be
Yeah, it could be anything, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like pulling teeth to get people to even do things on time. So like, let alone be like, here's a theme for you, and then like, oh man, I gotta go download all this shit and blah blah blah. Like, so it didn't work out for that, but it works out really well for me doing my personal stuff. And like, my idea was, I'm gonna release 4 mixes a year. I mean, I don't want to like have a mix coming out every week or something, or like or release 1 a year.
For sure.
So I think 4 is a good number. Like 4 is good a year, and I wanted to soundtrack the season.
Yeah, so your fall one.
Yeah, the fall one. I
great.
just did the winter mix, do spring and summer, and
so not necessarily like sets from a night.
No, he's not recording his sets out.
Yeah,
studio
exactly.
sections.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, studio set where I'm like, okay, what does winter sound like to me? You know, like, what kind of music would I listen to during that time, right?
I feel like my techno always sounds like winter.
yeah. Our techno that we play together definitely sounds
does that equal black?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty
black
much.
and dark.
It's been a real dark
very
winter,
emotive.
No words.
Yeah. Oh.
Maybe actually, like I do these like acapella breakout things where I play like an ambient track with like some like nasty German vocals on it or something. But that's about it.
Okay, but the techno tracks probably no words.
Just boom boom. Sometimes a little bit here and there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Those tracks. Some of my favorite techno tracks that are kind of like no words tracks. I generally categorize them as like a train.
Yeah.
Cooking away.
Absolutely.
It's pretty cool. Man. Yeah. It's just
no. So like, I released this mix, and I was like, I just spent like almost like a month working on it, just like, picking tracks, and I recorded it like 3 times, and finally you got it to okay, cool. I'm happy with this. Put it out, and it's had like 400 listens almost, I think, in like 3 or 4 days. I was like really overwhelmed with the response. I'm like, oh wow, like people really seem to be enjoying this, and I'm hoping it hits 1,000. Like that'd be really cool. I had this one track like back when I was doing the wedding shit. We would do like little remixes or mashups of like a Punjabi song, which is a state in India.
I got you.
You got me?
I got you.
So
I've been there. I've been to the Punjabi Dhaba.
Oh yeah.
Those the little restaurants.
Yeah, those are the best.
Maybe we'll explain that in a second.
Yeah. So I'll take like Punjabi track, and I did this remix of the Punjabi track with like "Welcome to Jamrock" by Damian Marley. Put that together, and that's got like 5,000.
You can't go wrong with that track from Damian Marley.
Yeah,
you just can't go wrong. I mean, unless you forget the hook.
Yeah.
Then I'm not sure why you're DJing, but.
But that track's got like 5,000 plays on SoundCloud. That's the most listened to. Like people still go back and listen to it.
So that's why you're thinking maybe 10,000.
Yeah,
25,000 is like okay, I'm beyond.
Yeah, that's like
my circle of friends.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's when it's more like random. Like that's like when you're on like the 3rd ring of like there's your friends, and then there's friends of friends, and then there's friends of those friends. Like. 7 degrees of separation, Kevin Bacon shit. Yeah.
Well, with some of these podcast episodes, they trip me out, man, because you can see some stats and like, IP address, like origins of listeners at least, and it's like trips me out, man. I'm like, I know I don't have any friends in that area of the world.
Yeah.
Like maybe, some fans stumble on it, they're trying to hack me or whatever. I don't know which.
Yeah, man, no, funny enough, I was looking at the stats for this one, and I think like the 2nd country that comes up is like Russia or something.
Yeah, I've got Russia fans.
Yeah, it's and we noticed that with the Burner podcast stuff too.
Yeah. They're very into electronic music.
Like it's like San Diego, San Francisco. Actually, it's like majority of the people listening are from San Francisco. Is all of San Francisco is Burning Man basically. But then we'll get Macedonia and London and like all these. And it's really cool to just see like, oh, it's more than just our friends listening to these episodes.
Yeah,
and
it's
like,
funny, huh?
All the hard work that we put into like making this gift to the community is getting out there.
That's the positive part of that for sure.
Yeah.
Then there's the other part where you like need to stop looking at the stats, right?
Yes. Yes, because like I'm a data analyst.
Oh geez.
So
He's a microphone specialist. See, I didn't give the right description. I didn't know the right description for the podcast.
What'd you call me this time?
Techno guy or something. Variety show veteran.
Remember last time was really funny. It was like international techno booking assassin.
That was great. That was great. Well, I think you are officially now the first person from San Diego to be on here twice.
Killing it.
Been a couple other people, but you're basically co-host now.
Oh God.
Yeah, he's basically a co-host. Because you need more shit to do, I'm sure.
Yeah, I do. Really, I do.
Yeah. I think when I have 3 people in here the next time, I'm going to designate... We'll have, like, some rules of the game. Like, whoever's not talking is, like, the social media person.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're, like, sharing.
Yeah,
Get busy.
We need that guy. We need the guy from the Joe Rogan Tour.
Prove your value.
Yeah, young Jamie.
Yeah,
young Jamie.
Yeah.
Need a Jamie.
Dude, young Jamie's got a clothing line.
Okay. Dude, he's how boss is that guy's career?
Yeah.
Like he just was. I don't even. Did anyone know how he ended up in that spot?
No, I haven't. I missed that because Brian Regan got kicked the fuck off.
Oh, was he originally?
Brian was originally Jamie's role.
Okay.
And Brian is very socially awkward from what I gathered. He would like
occasionally he's on the show, isn't he?
He still is occasionally
friends.
on the show. Oh yeah. They're definitely so cool and all that, but like Brian would just make this really awkward and unnecessary comment while like Joe's trying to have like an intellectual discussion with one of the guests, and like they got to the point where it was like, all right, Brian, I don't think this is a good fit, and then young Jamie just kind of showed up and
young Jamie.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he's something to do with the Comedy Store. Like that's how they ran into each other.
I mean, that's great. It's great for him. However he ended up there, because like I googled around a little bit before, and there was no like real lengthy Wikipedia entry.
Yeah. It's just
which when you think about it, that's kind of how Rogan. He talks about it occasionally on there. He had some big breaks in the beginning.
Yeah, sure.
News Radio and UFC and. Kind of stumbled
Fear
into
factor.
it.
Yeah.
He's clearly talented, but Dana White spotted the talent and was like,
yeah,
dude,
he fell into a really interesting like pop culture position there.
Yeah, no, I mean his like Rogan got super lucky because like he got picked up when they were still doing like development deals for comedians, right? Like they would pick up and be like, okay, you're funny, we're gonna make you into a star. And he got picked up, came out to LA. Oh no, I think he moved out to LA. He got picked up when he was doing comedy. Got on News Radio. It was like the first thing he did.
Yeah. That
blew up, right?
Yeah.
It was a great show.
Yeah, he talks about it all the time.
Yeah, I remember watching News Radio as a kid and like never like, wait, that guy?
Yeah.
The janitor or the he wasn't the janitor.
He's like me talking about the Crystal Method. Like those guys, like aside from having known their music, like they back in like 2014ish, 15ish, like they just found me on Beatport, dude.
Oh
like my music, and hit me up and started putting it on their radio show. Next thing I was doing remixes for them.
Oh, nice.
Wow,
it's fucking crazy, dude.
What?
And for like a whole solid year, like 2016, like I think I was in like half of their weekly shows on Sirius Satellite.
Yeah, that was a lot.
It was crazy.
That was a lot of,
like that kind of stuff, like I mean, it's partly why I do this. Like, some people come on here that are way more popular than me, but, I'm just saying, we have different audiences. So I love doing this, really, I mean, just to hang out and chat and meet people.
Yeah, combine your networks, though, at that point, you know what I mean? A lot of different people will see this.
It's great. It works. Yeah, no, it's good. And people like it. It makes sense, dude, right? Like, people that meet each other out in the scene, different geographies, whatever, like, they're going to be, like, kind of chill, maybe similar music. Vibes, it's great.
Yeah.
The fans of one get to know the other,
Yeah.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I really think like the most important thing is like vibes.
Yeah.
You may have your own interests and whatnot, but like as long as you're on the same vibe, you can chill, you can hang out. Like that's why, like I don't really vibe with PB.
Yeah.
So much like the PB bar circuit.
We can remind the listeners. I talk about it all the time because we do broadcast this from Pacific Beach.
Yeah.
I haven't had to struggle to get anyone to come over here. But I always get the side eye at first. Like where?
You try to put me in Shore Club or something for this? I would not be there at all.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. But when they realize it's like, first of all, it's not a mixed show.
Yeah.
Right, it's talking stuff, and then second of all, it's behind like Chiba Hut and across from the liquor store kind of thing, and then they're like, "Oh, okay, cool, I get it."
It's at least tucked away from like all the chads. It's great.
Yeah. No, it's totally true though. Like people ask me like about nightlife here. I just tell them, dude, I don't go out after 8 in PB. For me, there's no point. You do your day party, which can be a lot of fun in different places. And
Firehouse is great.
I will say, Jimbo at Firehouse
Jimbo's thing's
has
great.
been killing it with the bookings, and honestly, it's a good vibe there, and it doesn't feel like the rest of PB at all.
Yeah.
It's a good scene. It brings a lot of our people out. You know what I mean? I really enjoy what Jimbo's doing at Firehouse for sure.
Yeah. No, I've gotten the opportunity to play there a couple of times. It's great.
Still waiting on my
Well,
moment.
and speaking of R as in ARE or our as in OUR scenes and people. It reminded me because when I was listening to Teeny and her podcast, she was talking about this topic, and what she was talking about with the resident advisor host was like the sort of merge of commercial and underground, right? And clearly that's happened.
Oh, this must have been Resident Advisor Exchange.
It was, yeah,
okay,
Exchange. Yeah, that's that podcast. I listened to a lot, most of the episodes. I try to. But yeah, like she had some real interesting points, and because sometimes I find it hard, especially if I've had a little tequila or something, to describe like underground or commercial to like a non-music, just like someone new to it all. Because I'm careful with it because I don't want to offend somebody as if it's like our community kind of thing, as if it's this like polo shirt group, right? Because a lot of people take that when they haven't really participated in any community,
Black
whether it's
group.
racing cars or whatever, right? Yeah, but she made anyway. Her really good point was just that like people that are just kind of assholes, like that's almost like when people have like this bad connotation with commercial. Her point was like, look, there's assholes in the underground.
Absolutely.
Period.
Absolutely there.
And
like
people that take advantage of men and women and LGBT and whatever. It's everywhere.
Definitely.
So I was just going to point out, like, because it's fresh on my mind from today, like when we say our, if someone's watching now or audio later, like we're not talking exclusivity, we're talking just kind people
for sure. Absolutely.
That like dance music.
Yeah,
sure.
Right?
Yeah, no.
Like kind, loving people.
I definitely don't hate on the commercial scene at all. You know what I mean? There's definitely it definitely does something for everyone, including the underground community too. You know what I mean? It's really bringing us all into the forefront. You know what I mean? Where we're able to throw events at clubs like Omnia and places like that, where normally you would just hear like bubblegum EDM all day for years and years and years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now we're finally starting to see like the quality of curation that we're doing in the underground step into the forefront in San Diego, and that's great right now. I feel like that's really like what we're seeing changing here. Yeah, and I like that. I like less delineation between the two, underground and commercial. Right. I like a little more about like, hey, don't be that guy or that girl. Yeah, that's what we're talking about, folks. Absolutely. Whether you're at a country music concert, or Omnia, or Enter the Tech. Right?
Don't be the girl that tries to tell the DJ what to play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
But no, that's like you were saying, nice people. Like that's what attracted me to dance music when I was 15, right? Like going to raves or like looking. Was that in India? No. Okay, I didn't know. No, that was in San Diego. Moving years. Yeah, no, I moved here when I was 4. Okay. Yeah. But looking. Took 11 years to grow that beard. Yeah, my beard is older. Well, it's not older than I am, but. I was born. It was in the womb. You came out with that, bro. Yeah. Right. I'm a facial hair fan. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, you got some solid totally chops there. But no, like just growing up, the Indian kid that wears a turban and has a beard and all that was difficult to be accepted in certain groups and whatnot. And you go to like a dance music party, and it's just like, hey, do you like house music? Like, I like house music. We're best friends now. Yeah, and that was it. There all was political beliefs and everything aside, what I mean? Yeah. You just do what leave all that on the side. Like we can all dance and groove and have a great time. We can all agree to like, I like this 4x4 beat sequence, and the rest is history, man. Like, well, I think one of the, like similar to you, for me coming, with a number of years in all this, one of the best things when there was no commercial part, it was all underground. Like you didn't call it underground because there was nothing else, it was only what is now called underground for this delineation. Yeah. But one of the greatest things I think has happened out of all of it, aside for my own love for music and DJing and making music, is just I really do believe it's had a very positive impact on people
as it's become more mainstream, some portion of people that might not otherwise be as friendly or kind or huggable have become so. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about Burning Man. I mean, I've only been 5 times, and those are consecutive last 5 years, so I don't have the 20-year ago, story. But to me, I don't see how it to me, I don't see how it can ever hurt anybody.
Who's better, like 97 burn was the best burn before LEDs?
When they used to allow guns.
With guns.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or you had fire in Deep Playa, and they were going like 70 miles per hour in their fucking art cars.
Yeah. That's wild, man.
Yeah. Who do you camp with at Burning Man?
I've camped with, my first couple years was with Camp Charlie. Oh. So I was, that was wonderful. Entry into Burning Man.
Yeah.
I had a couple old school friends that were part of it, and that was great. I thought, for me, and I always tell anyone else, I think the absolute best way to go is if you can, get sponsored, if you will, not financially, totally. But welcomed in by some people that have gone that you do already know. Yeah. Maybe from outside those circles, which was the case for me. So it was a very trusting, kind of environment. And yeah, it was crazy. And then then I camped with Big Imagination. The 747 debacle.
Yeah. Was that this last year? Was it this last
year? 2 years.
So this last 3 year with Charlie, when they left it there though and everything.
They didn't, but three with Charlie, and I've explained this like at least 6 times.
I think we already talked about that the last time I was here.
3 with Charlie and 2 with Big Imagination.
Yeah.
So I was on the core build crew for Big Imagination, which is we were the crew that assembles the plane on Playa.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Did you run into Rebel at all? Does that sound
a person or a camp?
No, the person's name is Rebel.
No.
So Rebel is a producer and manager of Burner Podcast, and he works with DPW and had to, helped organize the logistics of getting the plane off this year because of all the crossed wires.
Well, I'm sure there was involved. Yeah, absolutely, there was involvement from a lot of people.
But you were probably off.
Yeah, I stayed a week after Burning Man ended to do all the cleanup as part, and sort of the it's like a boat, the winterizing of the plane, basically.
Right.
And which essentially means we at this stage, because it was complete in terms of structural build, and rolling. At this point, winterizing is basically all the cosmetic stuff, or what they would call like the furniture. Jazz, and putting it in the plane and bolting it down and all that. Yeah. But then it just got, it moved. It moved before the end of that week that you're allowed to be there till that Saturday morning or whatever. So it moved off of the Burning Man Playa, towards the destination where it was supposed to go.
Some permitting issues, right? I mean, I don't.
Yeah, and then there was, and I'm not on like that head group, so I'm definitely not going to speak facts on it. But it did move off of Playa.
Yeah, that's what they said.
It was still on Playa, as in Black Rock Desert.
Right. Yeah, but not in
north
the area.
Yeah, like 10 miles or something. And the idea was that there was a piece of land up there that it was going to.
Right. Yeah.
So in the process of some debacle with permits and whatever, it rains. Right. Front tires sink. Of course, that's just what happens.
Absolutely.
Dude,
it's a huge project to undertake. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing.
Sorry. It's just shitty because they made it because when you were reading the headlines, people leave plane on Playa, and it's just like, no, that isn't what happened.
Yeah. Sure.
It's because it made it sound like you guys all right, we gotta go. We're just gonna leave this fucking art piece here,
which was definitely not.
Absolutely, it's been a week of
definitely not the case.
It's been a week of your life, man. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, because I was there.
Haven't we covered that?
Yeah, because of, just of some delays, I was there a little longer than had been planned, and so I did a lot of moop. Cleanup and stuff, and raking the whole property that was our square, whatever. Yeah, I mean, our moot map was sweet. We had nothing, man. We were all, whatever the blue. I think blue is the top color, or green or something.
Yeah, green is. Yeah.
Red's bad, green good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's red, yellow, green, right?
Yeah, we were all green. I think we had a little blemish or something.
Yeah, where were you guys located? What?
10 in the corner.
10K?
10KH. Yeah, it was that whole block because it's a pretty big camp.
Yeah. Okay.
A few hundred people.
Yeah, we were on K. Cool. We're on K in 745.
Okay.
Billionaires a row.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was weird.
I know. I can relate. 'Cause I would ride my bike down that way out around the clock.
Yeah, there is
to try to avoid like ear damage on 10.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For Will, for you, and anyone else, if you don't know, like 10 at least last year it's where all the big sound camps are.
Yeah.
That are stationary. That
Okay.
essentially point out towards Deep Playa, and it's like
For sure.
like you've
Yeah.
arrived,
Is
bro.
that where like Eric's camp, Mickey Beach, and all that was probably?
No, Mickey was
There
at
are
2
other-
o'clock.
Yeah.
Mickey was.
These
on
are like the except for question mark, which is on the other side, same on 2.
Camp Question
the
Mark
other
is
side.
amazing, dude.
That's
Just
amazing.
they're visual.
To me,
They're
best sound
visual.
system, best sound system and aesthetic out there
Yeah, 'cause they're really cool
for
they-
clubbing.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
wait a minute, you're not supposed to be clubbing at Burning Man,
Yeah.
but if you're going to do some clubbing at Burning
Yeah,
Man,
sure.
just go to question mark.
Yeah,
Is that
question
the
mark.
spot?
Yeah, no, it's a spot. It's cool because they do this. I think they drop like lace down or like some type of screen, and they do this beautiful video projection on top of it, and then
A lot of mapping,
Yeah, a lot of video mapping and
Fire.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's funny because if you go there during the day, it looks like
nothing.
nothing. It looks
Yeah.
like this is just like
Looks like a
Chapolin.
prison, dude.
yeah, it does not look pleasant.
It looks
at
like a
all.
prison.
It's not look
It's
pleasant at
abandoned.
all. Yeah.
Wow.
And then you go there at night and you're just like, what the fuck is this thing? And that's the best thing about Burning Man is just like a bunch of people just decided to do this. Like,
Do you know
nobody-
who's behind question mark at all?
I don't.
I have no idea.
I
I've never been able. I mean, I spent a lot of time trying to figure it out, but
yeah.
most of the big camps you kind of usually hear if you've been out
Okay.
there for a while.
Yeah, we
Never heard any story behind that.
Yeah.
Whoever it is, thank you very
You guys
much.
are doing a great job.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it
they're
seems
doing
to be a fairly no bullshit or low bullshit, drama around it. Never
Yeah.
hear any problems.
Yeah, no, it's not
But,
like White Ocean or.
But dude, I gotta tell you, it's fun, man. Here, I've heard Skrillex on there. I've heard others,
Skrillex, bass,
just in that category.
Bass mechanic?
Whew.
I think it was bass mechanic.
Bass Nectar.
Bass nectar.
Bass
yeah.
Nectar.
That guy,
Oh, bass,
Yeah.
bass
The wood
mechanic.
guy.
So-
Shout out Brian.
yeah.
Shout out Brian Porterfield.
Loving the show in Vegas still. They killing it.
Oh,
Loving them.
He was
I still
he was
use
on
those
the
motherfuckers.
he was on the lineup for and doing sound at Bloom, and
yeah.
Yep.
when I posted the
He did the
flyer,
remind
someone
me
from the East Coast asked me, they're like, bass mechanic from Miami, and I was just like, yeah, sure, whatever, dude, because I hadn't heard that name in a long time.
Bass
Yeah, so
nectar.
fingers crossed this will be my first year at the Burn, hopefully.
Oh, nice,
If all goes well, I intend on being there. I'll say
awesome,
that.
man.
So yeah, this
Yeah,
is,
just put the attention out there, bro.
that's what they all say, and I've
Playa
been doing
will
that for
provide.
3 years and it hasn't happened. So I guess the playa should be provided, and it's here, coming
Soon
up
enough,
here
yeah.
soon enough.
Coming up, yeah. How many years does it take for the plan to
Yeah,
provide?
actually provide, right?
It's funny, everyone just says it provides, and I
So far, all it's done is cost me money. No.
yeah, I feel like I'm supposed to be ready or something.
Yeah. I think I always think it's going to cost less and less every year because I have the gear. But
Doesn't.
Somehow it doesn't.
He's
Somehow
sitting pretty at like $1,300, something like that.
Easily.
Five might be my break year.
I took
Jesus.
like this year I took I threw my back out at Burning Man. I had the worst burn I've ever had
You
actually.
care to share what you were doing?
Sleeping.
Oh, on a rock.
I was sleeping on an air mattress, like a queen. I was super excited.
Classic.
I had this.
Yeah.
I had a Kodiak, fucking queen air mattress. Actually put sheets on it. Super excited. I was like, oh my god, I'm an adult at Burning Man this year, not just sleeping on the floor of my Coleman tent. And throughout the night, it deflated like 50%. And I slept like this, and I had
That's no good.
I had a back spasm.
That's like sleeping on a couch with your butt in the crack of 2 cushions.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you're done.
I was done for like 5 days. Like the whole burn was just me trying to get through pain. We took opiates, didn't do a fucking goddamn thing. Got a massage, didn't do anything. Ended up.
You need to run that race. That'll solve your problems.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sure.
That's the.
Oh, the 50K?
That medal's from the 50K. Yeah, I ran it
Nice.
this year.
You ran the 50K.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
6.5
Did you wear
hours.
mask the whole time?
No, I brought bandana with me, normal gear.
Okay,
but
good. Yeah.
I've run a lot, so it was like,
50K.
the challenge for me was that I DJ'd the night before, till 2 a.m.
Oh,
so
man.
that the race starts at 5 a.m. and then that afternoon I played at Duck Pond.
Okay.
Yeah, so I played on the plane, which I was camping there, so that I didn't have to go far. But anyway, yeah, I played on the plane with Diplo, ironically, and then and then I split and slept a little, did the race. Friends picked me up, and then like that evening I played at Duck Pond. It was a lot of fun. It's great, dude.
Yeah, I think
But that'll straighten out your back. That was the point of that.
Yeah, the fucking run.
Yeah, if it doesn't kill you.
Yeah, if it doesn't kill me,
it'll detox you, and it'll straighten out your
you'll
body.
sweat out anything that you've taken out there.
Yeah.
No, I did get one good set in before. I got to play Disorient. The Monday night that Burn opened, and it was fucking fantastic. Like just DJing on like a proper big sound system.
So much fun.
Yeah,
such a good
amazing.
feel.
Like, it was really fun. There's something else.
Yeah, man.
Something else to be there. Actually, Disorient, funny enough, they're moving out or they're starting a West Coast chapter out here as well. I'm working with them to. They wanna throw a party. They want to go till 10 a.m. and they need a warehouse. And I'm like,
Okay.
Start hitting up some people.
Might be
So
able to
watch
help
out
you
for
out
that.
with
Watch out for that. That'll be fun.
Cool.
Let's talk a little techno, man.
Yeah.
Because you guys are both techno guys.
Yeah.
You know.
Let's do it. I'm gonna run to the toilet. You get started.
Yeah, we can do that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Sure.
Maybe while
your event setup is at 5 p.m. Just saying. Yeah, we're sitting at pretty.
Oh, today?
4:14. Yeah.
Oh,
we're good.
okay. All right.
But
No, we're good.
they can start it. Okay, cool. I was just making sure.
All right.
But yeah, so techno.
Making sure everybody's happy.
I started I took over the Tuesdays at Blonde Bar, that were previously teased for techno.
Okay.
And I'm doing an event called Nocturne there, and then the off week. So every other week it's Nocturne, and then Take It Easy on the off week. And Take It Easy is more of like the Romanian minimal vibe, and Nocturne is more of like the Berlin techno, like hard vibe. I'm doing that with David Klaus, who actually lived in Berlin and Austria for a while, so he's kind of like seasoned in it, but he's actually 21 years old, so he doesn't really have much DJ experience in the States.
Okay.
So it's really cool to get him like getting his feet wet, and he's been killing it on booking. He's been really handling it. This Tuesday we're bringing Mesme from LA. I told you to play an all vinyl set. And then in May, we have Edit Select from Berlin coming to play at Blonde on a Tuesday, which is crazy. And that's going to be an amazing show. It's probably going to be the biggest thing I do this year, to be honest, thus far.
Is Berlin,
that's my techno
is
mecca.
that the epicenter?
In my mind,
right now?
In my mind, yes, absolutely. The clubs like Berghain, and the other clubs in Berlin as well. Like it really kind of like shapes what is like an all-inclusive immersive techno experience. You know what I mean? It's just like it's my techno mecca. Like if I ever had to choose one, I need to go. I need to be there.
I was in Frankfurt once.
Yeah.
And then an after hours, which at that time I didn't really know what an after hours was, and we went to one truly underground, as in underground, kind of subway-ish feel to it. No lights, maybe a white light, I think.
Just like one, so you could see.
I think, like maybe for safety or for whatever. Amazing sound. That really shaped me musically. I liked that a lot. I always remember that experience. Very techno, very minimal. 135 BPM style. And I just liked those heavy, dark sounds.
We're starting to touch on that with Nocturne. We're starting to really get into like higher BPM and less like doof and more like intelligent, like intricate percussive bass lines. You know what I mean? Like.
So a question along those lines is, where do you draw the line between tech house and techno? Other than BPM?
For me, it's pretty simple. Like with tech house, you got a lot of the open hi hats going on. You know what I mean? And I feel like you get a lot with the techno that I'm talking about. I get a lot more of a punchy kick and not like a boomy kick, and more of a clicky high end percussion. And like in the mids, you get like a bass line that's a lot more repetitive and simple, kind of like on the acidier side, if you will. Mm-hmm. Right now, that's what's coming out. You know what I mean? Minimal on the vocals. Like if you get vocals are like really like an afterthought, they're not really like the center.
More
of
like
the song.
accents.
Yeah, less like Detroit techno. Detroit techno is all like vocal driven. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit different. I feel like I'm finding techno that's like more about like a repetitive, like percussive vibe, instead of like something that's like a song per se. It's more of like a beat that you would loop, something like that.
Yeah, that's how I consider techno.
For sure.
I don't consider them as much song structure type songs.
Exactly. A lot of them are, and then there's like
not radio
melodic,
ready.
Yeah, the melodic side of it is a little different. Like my friend Lauren Mia from LA, Like she's doing a very like melodic techno thing. I brought her down to play the first Nocturne, and she's doing a more melodic techno thing. And her songs are like composed like as if she was like a classical. She's a classically trained musician, so she's like a completely different tip melodically, and I am too, but I just have a different approach. But that's something that's really more like structured as like a song, if you will.
Okay. All right. What's the recap the techno parties for techno fans? Recap the techno parties in San Diego. What's going on? I mean, I know you got yours.
Yeah,
go see his first.
Obviously,
go Nocturne.
Obviously, I got Nocturne. You know, it's just like super special.
Yeah, yeah.
I got.
Heck yeah, man.
We have T is for Techno still around, I think.
Are they at Onyx?
They're at Flux now.
Flux.
They moved from Blonde to Flux.
Yeah.
What else we got? Soulwork does some techno, especially most recently. Like for me, the last Soulwork one I went to was that Knox After Hours.
No, Carl Craig.
Oh yeah, Carl Craig. I forgot they had Carl Craig at the old NBC Studios spot.
Techniche.
Oh yeah, Techniche is pretty cool. They play a lot of tech house too. It's kind of a little more in the middle. That's a really cool night on Thursdays. It's really chill to get out there and like really. It's good. That's a really good place to network for me. I feel like a lot of people that wouldn't necessarily come outside of the Hillcrest scene start coming to our other techno events. You know what I mean? From there, and Josh is a really good like liaison to that.
Cool.
And Rudy's great too.
Josh and Rudy, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and also John Belotti's a part of that.
Yes, John.
What else do we have?
Well, yeah, I mean, I would say
like 4.
Oh, yeah,
that
there's
are kind
Archetype.
of regular.
Archetype, the guy Tyler Detweiler does Archetype, and he also has that live night, Acid Varsity, where they play some like acid techno like live on some gear.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's some good shit.
Yeah.
We did that with Austin Speed. He came in here, and I didn't know he was going to actually play live shit.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow. He brought his setup.
Yeah, he shows up with like a couple, old patch synth type gear.
That dude killed it on New Year's.
We had a lot of fun.
He went off at Blue.
Yeah. So he had like 2 little 5 or 10 minute sessions in here where he just jammed out, and we like messed with stuff and made crazy noises and picked up feedback off the lights and funny stuff, man. It was a trip.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear what feedback gets picked up.
Which this
on the mic
today?
Yeah.
Yeah, it picks up mostly the hard drive off the computer.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what
it's
that?
It's the fan. Yeah, it's the fan off the computer. If anyone ever is curious, it's the fan.
Okay.
Yeah. So whenever this is actually a pretty beefy laptop, but whenever
I'm maxing like fucking overdrive right now, trying to do everything.
Yeah, the heat. Yeah. So whenever I upgrade this thing, probably a year from now, it'll probably be able to handle it without the fan running so much. Yeah. It pretty much hits like 60-70% on the CPU, which is going to put the fan in motion after 30 minutes.
Yeah. But
that's what you hear.
Yeah, came back to the techno parties.
And you'll hear it again on the replay if you listen to it. And all your friends will get to hear it too.
Yeah.
But you can. But like I said, I do like I give it like a real light, basically, compression, limit master, EQ master, and put a little knee on the frequency that is that fan.
Yeah.
It works pretty well. It takes a lot of it out.
Excellent.
And boost it.
Yeah.
So if you're an audiophile, just listen to the podcast later. Stop listening to this now.
Yeah. Oh my God, it sounds terrible.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting because there's the techno nights, like the shows that are focused on techno. But then Jimbo, Reptile Society, I don't mean Jimbo. Jimbo James, who runs Music is for Lovers and Love Life.
Yeah.
Reptile Society.
Reptile Society brings some techno. They bring a special brand of techno, honestly.
And Bouquet.
Yeah, let's talk about that
as well.
So 3 Fridays ago, Bouquet had
their 1 year.
Yeah, the 1 year at Spin. This was the darkest, gnarliest night ever.
It was so good, dude.
Oh man, I let my inner techno beast out.
I was
fully immersed in that dance floor.
Yeah, me and my girl ended up there. Me and Lauren came in, and we came in at like 2:00 in the morning, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now?
It was just booming like 138 BPM.
Amazing techno.
Where was this?
Spin of all places,
Spin.
man. So
Bouquet. Who was the promoter?
Bouquet. So it's Bailey Rogers and Jordan Marone.
Okay.
And they actually have a party tonight as well.
That's what I'd like to go to.
Yeah. But they don't I don't think they're gonna have a techno night tonight like they did for their 1 year.
Okay.
But so they had like who was it again? Oh man.
It was Residents, I think.
No, it wasn't just Residents. No, they had someone from. You can pull it up under past events. They had someone from Germany come, as well as this duo that's like they're like husband and wife or like fiance. The fiance is like they're engaged.
Okay.
Is that who that was?
Yeah, They had
fucking
never played
slaying
back to back before together ever, and it's just like I'm telling you, it's just like breaks, just like nasty tech breaks, into just like booming ass techno back and forth, just like rolling, and it was just honestly some of the hardest music we've heard in San Diego in a long time. Like it really inspired me. Like with Nocturne, like I'm trying to push that vibe, and they really hit the nail right on the head right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. I wish
it didn't
I was
even
there.
feel like spin in there. It was just red lights, static red lights,
Yeah.
and just very dark. I just have the sunglasses on, and me and the girl were just dancing, just locked eyes, just techno for like 6-7 hours, just completely on the dance floor. Didn't even stop to get a drink. I was like, this is great.
Yeah, when you get the static spots,
oh yeah,
that's where you kind of know you're at a different party.
Oh yeah,
pretty fun.
It was super cool.
Hopefully everybody doesn't start doing just static spots now.
Yeah, no, sure. Still bring the lighting control. That's fine.
Yeah, no, fucking Shane who runs the lighting.
Yeah,
lighting and sound. Literally anything that has
he was like, they just wanted just red lights.
Yeah, you just wanted red lights, man.
I went in the bathroom.
Yeah.
You can take this one.
No, Shane's the shit, man.
I'm just going to sit here myself and start playing YouTube videos.
Just start doing...
Do you want to watch one of my favorite YouTube videos?
Sure.
I've been waiting to play this, like, for fun. And you ever seen this before, dude?
No, I haven't.
This, just, anybody listening, if you just want to watch the big one instead of on the feed, just Google iguana versus snakes. And it's a pretty good time. Hold on here. I'm going to put this guy
iguana.
on.
Is this Planet Earth?
Yeah, dude. Have you seen this before?
Yes.
Yeah. We'll put it over Will. We're going to put it over Will's face since he's not here. And put that guy on there. And then watch this. It's just my favorite 2 minutes ever. On YouTube.
Sir.
A snake's eyes aren't very good, but they can detect movement. So if the hatchling keeps its nerve, it may just avoid detection.
It's one of the best interviews ever. One snake, one iguana. No big deal, right?
Not at all. I would be shitting.
He's all like trying to stay still so it doesn't know. Doesn't know.
Soundtrack that.
The rest of those guys. It's like 6 snakes.
What's going on?
It's like 6 snakes in the dark.
I've seen this stuff.
This iguana is pure techno. This iguana is as black as it gets. His glasses. One snake down. Yeah, go ahead.
A
and go
near
to your
miraculous
platform,
escape.
people.
Yeah. BBC.
Yeah, we'll get blocked for that.
It's what
Go Google that, folks, because it'll probably get blocked from the section. So yeah, if you listen to this later, Snakes versus Iguana, BBC, World, Earth, something like that. Check it out. Cool, man. You guys got a party to go make or do?
He
set
does.
up?
I do.
All right.
Yeah, you gotta make a. That's the thing with like promoting. Like you wanna really create a space.
Yeah.
You wanna like make
That's
it,
a good thing to close
make
on.
it different, right? Like not just be like, oh, just come to this club and we're gonna play this music. Like no, we want you to have an experience, and that's really important, I think.
Yeah, to create like an immersive experience, especially with Blonde. Blonde's a great one for that because it's seriously like a black shoebox, man. Like there's just like black leather walls, mirrors on one side, and everything's just black. There's some yellow lights, and that's basically it.
Yeah.
So like when he does Mirage there, he creates this like Egyptian, like almost like harem-like vibe. It's completely different. You know what I mean? It's like fluorescent colors, super cool. When I do Nocturne, it's obviously just static red lights, just like super dark. I turn all the lights all the way off and just have just the up lights lighting the whole room. It's super dark. I change the candles out for candles that are less bright. and I make it a darker experience. For Take It Easy, we bring visuals. We put these scrims over the sound system we bring in, and we project on the tops are like funny.
Yeah, I'm glad people have started using the scrims, you call them, over the speakers to map or do whatever.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really cool to see like that level of production come into such a small space like that. You know what I mean? Because like when you go to New York, like I'm in a warehouse, and of course they're mapping on like the little intricate parts of the warehouse. Like there's like 2 smokestacks, and they're like mapping like crazy like flower visuals all over them and stuff. But it's like that's a warehouse. That's a multi-$1,000 party. This is something we're working with like $1,000 budget. You know what I mean? And we're really trying to keep it like in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so pay your cover charge, people.
Yeah, that's what you're paying for when you pay the $5 at the door or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
You're helping
the artists of all kinds.
The money goes to the people who made the music, the people who threw the party, and the people that create the energy and the space that you're experiencing.
And I'm definitely not going home with $100, $200, $300 at all. I literally break even every time. You know what? It's worth it because the party's great and I love it.
Yeah, because we do.
But even if you are one day, you know, people, it's still cool, man. Like there are people that do make money and part of their living doing music, you know, or all of it. And I it's really important, I think, for people to understand that. You know, I think, you know, like maybe you don't care or whatever. That's cool.
Sure.
Different opinions, but like I was telling you when we were talking, you know, between you know streaming, which you know, legit music like that's commercially available, between gigs, between producing a few parties, you know, projects like a video game or you know things like that throughout the year. You know, there's a lot of people out there working, let's call them working music producers and working DJs that really rely on it. So you know, I think it's. I also think it's awesome that you kind of throw out there, you know, kind of the breakdown of a party, and you know, it's not like you make $2,500 at the door and $2,450 goes to the promoter, and you stiff everybody else. Like obviously,
definitely not.
Obviously, that's not happening at parties that continue to give a good reputation.
I pay every artist more than I ever take home every time. You know what I mean? Because it's honestly it's worth it. And that's how you get the level of level of DJs, the level of production. Is by paying for it straight up. You know,
but that $10 or $20, like it gets eaten up pretty fast once you have guest lists, which is you know there's some great reasons for that. There's in some cases the venue, the barmans, all this kind of stuff that can happen, but without getting into the the dissection of a party production. But you know it's usually well worth it if people are working hard in there.
Absolutely,
and I'm totally cool if they take home 10-20% or whatever the draw is for their pocket. You know?
I think
for managing it, basically.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I mean, for me, like I'm a data analyst day to day, but like I just love bringing people together, right? Yeah. And having a good time and hanging out. I mean, that's what we're doing here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I give that little overview a little bit because I mean I'm all for people that don't need it, like to make money off a party or their music or whatever. But there's a balance between that and people who do and really work hard.
Sure.
I'm trying to make literally need every penny.
You're absolutely right,
yeah.
And it's
and it takes all of those.
It's because there's people like me with like hey, I just want to do this thing.
Yeah,
sure, have a good time, and then there's people that are like I mentioned. You mentioning names, but like it's like, hey, this is what I want to do, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it really well, and that's how. And funny enough, like Insomniac EDC. I went to
who is that? Yeah, I'm with you.
I went to EDC in 2002. There was 3,000 people there. It was in Long Beach at the pier.
Oh, that's before it moved or got moved.
Yeah, it went from Long Beach to San Bernardino to Los Angeles. I saw Donald Glaude.
Still chugging along. Champion.
Donald Glaude DJing. BT. And it was actually my first rave. My first rave was EDC. And sorry. Lost my train of thought.
Too much water.
Yeah.
It's that good water, man. That's I think John Reynolds brought that water in.
Really?
I think
A
so.
couple of years ago.
No, it's like 4 weeks ago he was in here. It wasn't open till today.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh gosh, what was I saying?
Something about EDC and your first rave, being your first rave, 2002-ish, 3-ish. That's why I'm here, to help people stay on track. Westsmith.com, stay on track.
Yeah.
That's my new thing, man. But
yeah, well, things start out really small, right? Like my first EDC was like, it was 2,000 people. It was like a tiny thing. Now it's 70,000 people.
Yeah, a racetrack.
500,000 if you go
Right.
on Instagram and believe that.
Yeah, these things start really small and they grow and grow and grow and grow. And like the guy, I think it's Pascal, who started Insomniac. Like, it starts out really small and it can just grow and become a really big thing, which is beautiful. So like, you know, like Pascal had the passion to like, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna throw parties. I'm gonna be thinking. And now it's a massive company.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, there is the people like me that are just like, I really like music and I want to throw parties and have a good time and bring people together. And then there's, you can become an EDC. Everything's available for you. Anything is possible. Funny enough, dude, so when I lived in London...
Now he's going to tell a joke.
When I lived in London, I used to do...
2 hours in, Navjeet's going to drop a joke.
I used to dance. I used to do traditional Indian dancing. I used to be in a dance team. Bhangra dancing. So, the captain of the team, the Bhangra team, he was a choreographer, right? Simon. He now has like over a few 100,000 followers on YouTube.
Wow.
Is an international DJ. It was funny because I remember he would show me his mixes that he was making, and I'm like looking at the levels. This is back in 2009 when I was in London. He is now, like back then, he's making these mashups, but he linked up with some artists from India, did some remixes for them on SoundCloud, blew up. He's flying to Dubai, flying to Delhi, getting bookings all the time. He's DJ Frenzy. He's got like, and I remember eating chicken with him at Nando's.
Of all things, chicken at Nando's.
Just having a fucking great time, dancing, listening to like amazing Indian music. Simple, just like normal dude, badass guy, great DJ. And then now he is DJing and making tracks with one of the biggest stars in India. Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing.
One of the Bachchan, was it Amitabh
Bachchan?
Bachchan?
Amitabh Bachchan?
Yeah, Amitabh Bachchan.
Amitabh Bachchan. He's
I
not,
love that
not,
guy.
not at the Bachchan level.
I love that guy.
But yeah, no. If
He's
you look
the
up
best.
DJ Frenzy, and it's dope because he brings like, he takes like hip hop and Punjabi music and like mashes it together with like some Drake vocals on top.
Oh,
I
cool.
think you guys will actually like it. It's
Hey,
pretty
speaking of that kind of mashed up, was Punjabi MC actually, like, do you know the story behind that cat?
Yeah.
Was Punjabi
I know
MC
him. I met him.
Okay, so he's actually representing Punjabi culture? Is
Oh,
that the right
yeah,
way to put
absolutely.
it? Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
And then it was the
Punjab-
Jay-Z collab that just crushed it, right?
Yeah. So Raj, that's Punjabi MC's that.
Okay.
I actually, it was funny because like, yeah, let's talk about that. He came out to DJ in LA 2 or 3 years ago. Me and my buddy Sandeep Kumar went out and checked it and watched him DJ, and it was funny. It was funny because his DJing style is off of he mixes on the second bar. He doesn't mix in on the straight it was just blew me away, like the way he, because I've never seen him like actually DJ live. I've only heard his tracks. But, so the story behind Punjabi MC. What are we doing this?
Will
Selfie?
no, it's just
Okay.
okay. That's great.
So his story, Punjabi MC was actually a rapper. Gets started. He's actually Punjabi from Birmingham.
Like Alabama?
Birmingham.
Oh, Birmingham. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Different place. All right.
And he was a rapper, Punjabi MC. He was an MC,
Yeah.
right? He's got some great tunes. Definitely like Spotify title or like whatever you use. Check out his tunes. Drops his record in 1998, which is like called Legalized. Amazing album. Like that was a seminal album. Like when it was really cool because it helped merge all the things I love. It's like my culture, music, and then also electronic music and hip hop. And like it was one package of like, oh wow, all four things are coming together into one thing. And that's one album. Is because he's got this track. Because you've heard that one, but
do you remember what the name of the track was that Jay-Z ended up doing I don't want to call it a remix, but the re-collab with?
Yeah, Mundial the Bushke.
Okay, because it was already a track that was out.
Yeah,
and then they
yeah.
redid it and gave it an American name or English name.
Beware the Boys.
Yeah, Beware the Boys.
Yeah, that's literally what
if you're a hip hop fan or not, and you've never heard that, yeah, go listen to Beware the Boys, Jay-Z, Punjabi MC, like,
yeah,
whatever you think of the track, like that is a pivotal moment without a doubt in my mind of hip hop, like hip hop world coming together in music.
Yeah, no, it was that.
That's the first time I saw that much exposure.
Yeah, because Timbaland and
With,
Magoo were doing samples. Like Timbaland was sampling Indian shit.
That's right.
For a long time, right?
Yep.
And then there was that Nina Sky track. I forget what it is right now, but
yeah, she was a great vocalist.
Yeah, she's amazing. You're in the East Coast, right?
I used to DJ hip hop, so I know I'm familiar with a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, and in New York, you were go through fucking Flushings or.
Well, and all those cats were like the producers that I looked up to at first,
right?
To try to figure out like what the hell they were doing.
Yeah,
there was no like when all this was underground, dude. There was no like you can go get a tutorial at Sonic Academy to teach you Ableton in 4 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely.
And thankfully there is now.
Yeah.
It's so much better. Much better.
No.
I ain't mad.
But geez, train of thought.
This discussion, this section of the show today may pair up well with an experimental one I'm considering doing where we watch pizza dough rise. I'm actually glad that joke came off well.
Yeah,
I can now use that clip. To promote the pizza dough rising episode.
This is the pizza dough.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a big fan of Yule logs.
Are you going to use?
And I can only rock the Westmouth Yule log in December. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to have the Westmouth pizza dough. Yeah, I'm all about it. Well, I make it from scratch, and then it has to rise hour and a half.
Yeah, no, but Punjabi music production, hip hop, like Timbaland started sampling some Indian stuff, and I remember there was this guy called Jay Sean.
Oh, I remember him.
Yeah, you remember Jay Sean?
Yeah, for sure.
So Jay Sean was on he got on Drake's label or whatever, Lil Wayne's label. I don't know what that label is, but anyways.
Wait, Drake just missed the old social media dart recently, didn't he?
Did he? I don't.
I had some. I'm not going to comment on whether it was or wasn't. Something worthy of him being, put in a category of Me Too type stuff.
Oh, he got Me Too'd.
He got Me Too'd. Yeah.
No surprises there.
I mean, from what I saw, it was certainly from what I saw, and that's all I saw was just a little clip. I mean, it was certainly didn't look good. It was just basically like bringing someone who he did not know was underage on stage at one of his concerts, you know, and a little bit of like close dancing kind of stuff.
A little bumping and grinding.
Yeah, from like it doesn't matter when it was, but it was a few years back.
That's unfortunate.
You know? And yeah, it sucked. But he seems to like I didn't see anything after about 3 days, so that's why I said he seems to have like cleared the dart on that one. Because I think you know a lesser popular person would have been dropped by everybody. Like I've seen people dropped for what I saw. I've seen people like their career over like that. Well, that's way worse. That's way worse. That, like from what I saw, what I saw and what I know from like you know court and rulings, that R. Kelly not even in the same category. From you know, I don't want to because I like Drake's music. Don't know him. I just like his music.
So my aunt is like a famous folk singer, and she has a song with Neil deGrasse Tyson on it, and she gave me Neil deGrasse Tyson's vocals to use on the track that I was working on.
Yeah.
And then he got Me Too'd, and so I'm not doing that anymore.
Oh yeah.
Neil deGrasse Tyson got Me Too'd?
Apparently
he got a little bit, but his got debunked too.
His got debunked.
Yeah. And so did I mean basically Drake's did.
Maybe
too,
it's back on then. Maybe there will be a Planet X Neil deGrasse
I can definitely see how there's a lot of people
Tyson
upset about the Drake thing, but I'm not sure that it is something that would have, you know, gone far like in a real legal situation. Not that it has to be a problem, but you know, basically he pulled her on, did a little whatever dance like he might with a fan. She didn't, you know, it's hard to tell what age she was. She didn't look 13, so it was kind of like, you know. And then he asked her how old she was, and she told him. And when he realized she was not 18, he was like, ugh.
Okay, goodbye.
Yeah, and then there was a little weirdness after that. So yeah, I think it was not cool, but yeah,
Jesus,
you know,
man.
go check that shit out for yourself.
Yeah,
it's not my job. You know, I didn't like it, but it's not my job. Like it's, you know, but anyway, my point was that he seemed to have missed the dart.
Skated that.
Definitely, which I do believe is like there's a, you know, the part I do have a problem with is that I think like I said, I've seen people crushed for less.
Yeah,
and he somehow managed to clear the PR on that one. Money, I guess. I mean, you gotta like. I don't know anything on that, but like with anything that happens on the internet, because you're a data analytics guy, like you understand a lot about the backside of how data and general stuff works, and you know the right amount of money can do a pretty good job at burying shit that would otherwise be publicly like everywhere.
Yeah.
Not saying that's what happened, but hey, people, consent, 100%.
Yep.
Always.
Don't bullshit.
Consent culture. Yeah. For sure.
That's my point to wrap that up. Since I brought it up, is like just to be clear.
Yeah.
No bullshit.
Absolute consent.
Like regardless of their age.
Yeah.
And that's the weird part, because who cares what age she was? I mean, yeah, it's worse legally if she was underage or something like that. Clearly, it legally has different repercussions, but consent regardless, bullshit. Don't bullshit with consent people. First. Grab and whatever. Yeah. We all know better.
You know what? That actually brings me back to what I really like about Bouquet.
Oh yeah, the safe space dance floor vibes.
Bouquet makes a really, really good point of like in their event descriptions and be like, hey, this is a safe space, LGBT blah, like all those things. Like, come here, dance, we're having a good time, and they make it very clear that like we're here to have a good time. That's fucking it. Full stop. And I really appreciate them.
Absolutely.
Them making that stop because I don't think you don't really get that in like the top 40 club world.
Absolutely
at
not.
all, right?
No, you don't.
Like you go to a Flux on a non.
Yeah, you just get neutral. In the top 40
or
club.
Oxford Social Club.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Although I do see tolerance signs like in bathrooms and stuff nowadays.
Sure.
Yeah.
And drug related or non, no tolerance for that.
Yeah.
No tolerance for being an ass to people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You do see that now.
I just feel like the vibe there in like the top 40 clubs is like, yeah, it's a little bit more like there's a little bit more of like a misogynistic vibe
it's different.
going on.
For there. Sure, it's different. It's different.
You know?
Yeah.
But
sure. I think our society.
The go-go dancers dress different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh,
yeah. Fucking.
Yeah.
Fire going off of champagne and shit. Yeah. That's not.
Don't make people do shit they don't want to do, man.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean,
bottom line.
No. Yeah. I mean, I think society as a whole could benefit from the consent culture. That is really like I became really aware of it through the Burning Man culture.
Yeah. I thought I was gonna double you.
Swing back.
No, I'll double you there.
Yeah.
I did too. Like I was raised by two women for the most part, my sister and mother. Father passed away when I was a teenager, so I really had a different that was my upbringing. So I feel like I really got a good understanding of being nice to women of all ages from a younger age. I feel fortunate for that. However, I just naturally didn't tend to have any problems like that throughout life. But for sure, Burning Man put a big dot at the end of that sentence to reinforce how big of an issue it actually is outside of maybe what my experience had been, and also open my own eyes up to look at things I'm involved in or situations I may be involved in where someone else is, and speak up, get somebody to help if you don't want to do it, which is perfectly fine if you don't want to get involved, but get somebody who can help take care of it.
This is really good because we're coming full circle here, because last night me, my sister, and my girlfriend Lauren, we went to Costera, place right out here, right? And somehow we got into a chat about just like Lauren was talking about dudes being weird at work, right? And Guggen started sharing a story about like she went to like some charity thing. Like she flew to Jamaica. My sister is a pharmacist, and she went out to Jamaica to do like some pharmacy charity thing. I just had to watch the dog. I didn't ask her much, so that's like what she actually went to go do. So there's this like crew of pharmacists that like went out there, and there's this one older dude that just kept on taking pictures of like the girls, and like there's like the older guys, and then there's a bunch of like mid-20s residents that are like super young girls. Yeah. And you can clearly see that
which ones he's picking out.
Yeah. Like taking a lot of pictures of the event, and like
weird flex.
Yeah. Like never flex that.
Flex.
Like never
that's
flex.
The zero flex.
Yeah, that's
zero flex.
That's a zero flex. And it was, I'm listening to both of them like just vent about like their experiences and all this, and I'm just like, and they look over at me like, no, how have you like how have your sexual
you're like watching the camera, weirdo.
And I'm just like, luckily I'm a 6'2" male guy that has a fucking massive beard. Nobody has ever really done anything, but like I have had a couple unwanted ass grabs at a bar. I'm like, excuse me.
Sure. Right? Exactly.
That is very rude of you. I'm gonna go walk this way. But
I've never had anything escalate. I've had a few women, few dudes grab me.
Yeah.
It's like whatever.
But
I mean, come on, man.
The whole part,
as long as you're cool about it, it's usually pretty straight.
Yeah.
For a guy.
Yeah.
For a guy, exactly.
Yeah. But for but this wraps back to the reason why I was telling about New York. We are at Flash Factory. My buddy Drew, we're in there. He's like, we gotta go. And I'm like, fuck, Drew. We just got here. We spent like X amount of dollars, and we finally got out of the club. And I'm like, Drew, what the fuck's going on? He's like, dude, I had 3 guys fucking grab my junk in there. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, not cool.
Yeah, not the business, man.
Yeah, not cool. No matter where you are.
Or
who you are.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. Let's go to the Andaz, New York.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
the Andaz,
our room was this size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No surprises.
So,
right.
Yeah.
I feel that.
And it was so me, Lauren, and Gunnar had this conversation last night. It sucks as a guy. It's like for me personally, you're like, I want to protect my sister. I want to protect my girlfriend and all the women in our lives, and it's a privilege that we don't appreciate. That like I walk out and I'm not like, somebody may attack me and can kill me. Like,
right.
That doesn't.
Different issue.
That thought has never come into my
mind.
I have to be like literally like asking for that.
For sure.
Yeah. You know, like go to Detroit in the fucking shit part of movie.
Yeah, still not right. Still not right, but a different situation. But
right, you know.
It's a completely different situation.
Yeah.
For straight men.
It's not.
Well,
it's not okay.
That's a good circle back to get us to the end for today.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta run, Bill. I gotta do some post-hole digging.
Let's do it.
I mean, I this doesn't come up on every episode, but it's a serious topic. It's good when it does.
Yeah.
Glad you guys are on board with, the right
Absolutely.
thing as well.
Yeah.
And promoting that, of course, and I would expect that.
No.
And I encourage anybody who may be confused about what the lines are. For me, what's worked great aside from growing up with women, but in more modern times, is like, whether it's your mom, a sister, a girlfriend's sister, someone who maybe you're not like, just someone you can really open up and talk and ask those questions that might be like, is this, is that, is this? That I think I like to promote that as much as anything, is just go talk to someone who's in those shoes.
Yeah, it's good to have a good ear to the
Yeah,
ground.
talk to someone who's in those shoes and ask them what this means or that means or this means, and they'll tell you.
Yeah.
And most everybody's pretty cool and doing the right thing, which is awesome.
Sure thing.
You guys, you're awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Wes.
Now,
This is actually
Will?
really good. I think we started with audio, and
Yeah.
we ended up with human rights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we covered.
Yeah.
I think we covered the gambit.
That's Globos right there.
It's Globos. Wow. Way to just bring it full
Just
circle,
tie it
man.
in well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, anyone that's still chilling now or later in the audio, scrubbing through here, all my stuff, westsmith.com. You guys, Will,
so
where can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram at Will Lavin Worldwide, and Globos Collective on Facebook. What else?
That's enough.
For you?
Come on, Navjeet. You get two.
Burner Podcast, Alkaline Podcast, and Soulwork.us.
Man with a plan.
Unadol Thursday at Blonde.
Yeah, go analyze your data, folks. Thank you, everybody who we had a lot of people in and out of here today. It was awesome, and I had fun with you guys.
Yeah, that was a good chat, man. I really
Learning new
enjoyed that.
stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect.
Maybe one day I come do one of yours if it's a talk kind of thing.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Yeah,
And,
actually, I actually want you to be on the podcast.
Yeah.
I would love that.
And I'm psyched to see you doing, different generations in here. Psyched to see you doing what you're doing, Will. And
Thanks so much.
yeah. And thanks again, everybody, for tuning in or listening later. Appreciate the support. Awesome. We're gonna close this thing down. When I have to flip my hat around and be young Jamie, so I have to turn off. I have to turn off the stuff that has audio and put the one with no audio.